Test, test, test. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel, EKB TV. You were watching the Vintage Cigar, and we're back with the live. This is a live stream. I think it's Friday night for everyone in the United States. It is Saturday morning for me here in Japan, and I am gonna light up a Cuban cigar, Cuban Lusitanius. I don't know if anybody's gonna join in. It's always a thing. Like when you're getting started right now to get the channel rolling, do a surprise pop in. It's Friday night. People living their lives. People outside. Actually enjoying themselves. Man, probably at a bar right now. Probably at a friend's house. Probably having a sleepover, cooking out something. It's summertime. It's a lot of music going on right now. People are listening to Childish Gambino. People are listening to Common and Pete Rock. It's some music stuff going on. So I don't know if this show is going to crack. I have no idea. I'm just here it is to smoke a Cuban cigar and see what's happening. Sandman in the place to be. Let me pop that up. What up, man? Thank you for joining in. Good to see you, brother. Always good to see when y'all join in and hang out with me for a second. I'm smoking a Cuban today. Partagas Lusitanius, sent to me by Sal. It's a little bit of damage on this thing, man. So I hope it smokes. We're gonna see. I brought a backup cigar, but I really wanted this Cuban. That's really what I wanted to see. What's cracking right here? We got Tater up in the place to be. Cheers from SoCal. Shouts out to SoCal, yo. I gotta get back out there soon. I got homies that just left here in Japan, and they were they're in San Diego. So much love out to SoCal for sure. Big Rob up in the place to be. Rob, you say you don't have sound? Anybody got sound? Everybody let me know if you got sound or not. My mic was saying that it was working. So give me a double check, man. Let me know if y'all can hear me, man. Let's see. Mike said, I got Partagas Series D number 4, and the Partagas shorts are also got Partagas Mil Flores. Mil Fleur. I can never say that right. Cuban cigar in my humidor. Shouts out to y'all know I love the Partagas Series D number 4. So big shout out to that. Big shout out. What up, fam? Hugo up in the place to be. Hey, man, shouts out to John Hugo for this hat, man. I dig this hat. I dig this hat. This might be one of my favorite hats that I got right now. Y'all know how I am about my hats. Shot, what up, homie? Oh, man, all is well. All is well. It's a strange time right now, but all is well, man. I got no complaints, man. I hope you're doing well, too, brother. It's always good to see you. Thanks for joining in, man. Sound is cool. Appreciate you, Hugo. Rob, man, get that sound working, man. Okay, reboot. That's bad. I can skip that. Sound is good. Garcia up in the place to be. D Garcia, what up? I'm always happy to see y'all join in, man. It's dope, man. Thank you for commenting, everybody. Thank you for popping in. All right, everybody can hear me perfectly. All right, so since I know the audio is cool, y'all give me a second. Let me get the cigar lit up. What are y'all smoking on a Friday night? What's cracking in the United States right now on a Friday night for y'all? How y'all living? How y'all been? What are the weekend plans? We're gonna just chop it up like Goodfellas right now, because honestly, I didn't come in here with anything really to talk about, man. I'm in a strange place right now. This thing is cracked, man. I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm gonna see if y'all can see this here. Y'all see the crack right there? So my draw feels kind of weird. But I'm gonna do my best. All right, everything's all good. Microphone check. So we loud and correct and direct. Everything coming correct. Appreciate it. Thank y'all for joining in. I gotta tell you, when you get a good Cuban, like when you get that flavor profile, like that's the flavor you wanted, it makes everything feel better, man. This is giving me like a little bit of cedar. It's a nice cereal note. It's a little bit of leather. Then I'm getting that Cuban, herbal twang, but it's not a lot of smoke output from it, man. I feel like, that crack is really going to be a detriment to this thing, man. It's a little bit odd, but at least I can get a taste of it and kind of see what's going on. Yeah, Cubans do slap. I see that, So lit up EPC Allegiance earlier, running errands right now. And I know if you're running errands, man, it's going to be hard for you, Hugo, to kind of respond. But was this your first time experiencing that EPC, EP Carrillo Allegiance? After lighting it up, man, what did you think about it? How did you feel about that joint? I'm gonna leave that up for a sec, because that kind of gives me something to kind of chop it up about, man. Like, I did appreciate that cigar a lot more, after really going back to it. And y'all know the first time I had that cigar, I was not feeling it. I was not with it. And I think it was just the fact that, I've been talking about like, developing palates a lot lately. I've been talking about just the process of developing a palate and the natural flow of developing your palate. And I feel like I've been fluctuating, between, kind of these medium body notes and kind of going in with the lighter cigars. I've been in the mood for more, not necessarily Connecticut, but something with a lighter, smoother profile. And I think Fred from Cigar Head Fred was just recently doing a cigar review. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. I just got up in the morning. I haven't watched anything yet, but I know he did the Todos Las Dias, and he and I have been talking about that cigar a lot. And I'm like, dude, you got to smoke this cigar. You got to try it. And, just because it's one of those profiles from Saka that is light, it's smooth, it's creamy, and it gives you just a nice flavors, but it got a little bit more of a kick than you would expect. But when you're smoking that cigar, when you're smoking the Saka kind, you're not really getting like just hit in the face with just a real robust, deep Maduro-like flavors. And that's kind of been the lane that I've been in, for the most part. And these Cubans is kind of the way I want to go with that too. So I'm saying that because of the EPC Carrillo. At first, that wasn't the time that I was on. Same thing with the Wagashi. I wasn't on that time. I wasn't in a place where I wanted, I was expecting something a little bit more with a little bit more depth. You feel me? And if you're not expecting that after you've had the Pledge, after you had the Encore, after you had the La Historia, after you had Sobre Mesa, after you had a lot of what, Saka is doing and EP Carrillo is doing, when you get the Allegiance, you're kind of like, is that it? Is that it? But now after going back to it, especially when I'm in my lighter mode, it works. It works for me. And I don't know, man. You got to kind of give yourself a little bit of, space. You got to give yourself a little bit of levity. I'm trying to be actually careful with this cigar, man, because I'm like really scared that it's going to be too fubar to enjoy. Because I'm not getting any smoke out of this thing, man. This is stuff that I don't want to happen, especially on the live. I get frustrated when it happens on the live. Hugo said it was my first time. The start was good for me, well balanced, and then fell off in every third. Wow, yeah, that's a tough way to put it, man. Because that's usually the opposite of how things go. Normally a cigar will start off like kind of harsh, and it might take some time to develop. Then by the time you get to the heart of the cigar, it kind of wakes up a little bit. And then everything is kind of like, that's that sweet spot where everything kind of comes together. It's burning the way that it should burn. It's smoking the way that it should smoke and all that. I'm not having a good time with this cigar. And the telltale sign of a great cigar is once you get to that final third, does it crescendo or does it crash? And that's gonna be, and it doesn't sound, it sounds like it more of a crash with that, allegiance, man. I don't know. When I had it that last time, it kind of came alive a little bit. It perked up, and there was a lot more development to it, as it went along. But I don't know. It's not necessarily a winner. It's not going to be one of those cigars that's going to, kill it for everybody. It's not going to be everybody's best. But it's a welcome change, and it's a necessary change. And I think brands need to have a lot of lighter blends, especially if they're well balanced in their portfolio. You need something like that. You can't always have like a heavy Maduro. And I know that's where part of the cigar industry went, trying to get away from, everybody like, hey, we can't get Cubans, so we got to do something different. We got to be, we got to change the game. So let's go with this, Dominican profile here. Let's go with these sweeter, smoother kind of things, a little bit of spice in there. Then everybody was like, nah, let's go Nicaraguan. Let's go darker, heavy Maduro, and then Mexican San Andres and, broadleaf, and let's take it to a darker, heavier notes. And that's cool. You got to have that progress. You got to have that process in there. But I think now we're finally in a place where a lot of these brands are kind of figuring out like, yo, we need diversity. We need to hit every palate. We need to do something so everybody can appreciate it. My guys up in here, what up, man? What up? You know how we do. I'm just trying to kick back for the weekend with y'all, man, and enjoy a cigar. Smoke my best. Even though it's not smoking its best. But I think that's the main thing. God, I want this to taste right so bad. Anyway, I think that's the main thing, though. I really think these brands need to be able to say, within my portfolio, I got something that has a spicy kick to it. I got something that has a sweetness to it. I have something that is earthy and robust. I have something that is completely unique and doesn't taste like anything out there. It's going to taste like a Dale Istanbul, and you're going to get something that you probably never had before. But at the same time, being able to maintain a baseline, Let's see. Shock said I haven't had the Allegiance, but the Encore Black isn't bad. It was okay to me. I didn't love the Encore Black, but it was all right. It was all right. But once again, I like the fact that they went a different route. I didn't enjoy the first time, but my second was pretty good. I feel you on that one, man. And and a lot of that is that process of being able to, get yourself out there, try a lot of different things. And if you don't like it the first time, go out there and shoot your shot one more time, at least twice, because you guys know that I've done that too. And I got to try the Encore Black again. I've had it once that, and then I was like, it's all right. It's cool. It's cool. And then, when I had the Allegiance, during that time, I was like, I wasn't really feeling this. Since we're on the topic of EP Carrillo and, kind of talking about that line, I went back the other day and I had the Pledge. And I championed the Pledge a lot. I used to talk, a lot about the Pledge and how much I really dug that cigar. And this time around, when I went back to it, I was like, it's kind of muddy. It didn't give me, a darker Melanio like it did the first time. The first time I had it was like, yo, this is a dark version of the Melanio. It gave me sweet, gave me bready notes. It gave me like a little bit, darker coffee in there to kind of make it more well-rounded. And this time around, and I had it, and it had some age to it. It was just muddy. And I couldn't understand, like, just say, for instance, I'm talking with Cigar Hound Dog about this cigar. And, like, I can see it on his face when I'm saying that I like the Pledge. He's just like, I don't know. you can feel it. Like, he just wasn't really with it like that. And I couldn't understand. I'm like, nah, man, this cigar was really good. It was really good. It was darker Melanio. It got some depth to it. That trilogy is really good. And it was my favorite out of the La Historia, out of the Encore. That original trilogy. I was a person. I was the Pledge. That's really where it's at. And I went back to it just thinking like I haven't had it in a while. I kind of gave it some time to breathe. I've tried a lot of different cigars in the past few years. go back to that joint, and I'm just like, nah, it's muddy. And I got another one somewhere, and I lost it. I don't know what I did with it, but I'll try that again. And I think you got to really, that's the only way you're really going to understand a lot of these expressions anyway. You see, this thing is not really burning, man. I'm not really getting a lot out of this. I don't think I'm going to get monetized anyway. Someone said, this is such a big dick tease right now that it's frustrating because this is the profile that I wanted. I wanted a Cuban today. I wanted a Cuban. Sometimes, like when a Cuban will call your name and it's like, yo, this is the cigar that you got to have because you're not going to get anything that tastes like a Cuban. I'm struggling right now because it's like I'm so close to getting the taste that I want. Shock said the pledge is better with age. It definitely wasn't. I wasn't feeling it at first, but picked up one with about a year of rest, and it was definitely better. But this one, man, I can't even tell you how many years I've had on the most recent one, man, because I've had, you know, the pledge for a minute, and I just haven't smoked it for a while. You know, it had its run, and you know there was a hype train, you know, for a while. You know, everything after, you know, what is it? Aficionado, and you know, winning, you know, the #1 cigar, blah blah, whoopty whoopty whoop. And I went through that whole phase of trying that cigar and you know, getting into it. And I smoked it quite a few times, and I enjoyed it with age and without. But I really think the more I sit back on it, it's just I'm just realizing that my palate is just changing, you know, and I think it's more me than the actual cigar itself. And I think it was just like, this is not the time that I'm in on it. I think, you know, if I get back to that, maybe if I go back to smoke the Milano again, because I haven't smoked the Milano, and, you know, I love that cigar. I probably got like 5 or 6 of them downstairs. Love that cigar. I haven't smoked it in over a year just because I did that cigar so much. We did the pledge so much. We went, you know, that was a cigar that we kind of went into it. And I wonder if that's going to be the same process with what's super popular right now, you know, that everybody's smoking a ton of. Mil Diaz Maduro. Maybe the same with the Atabey, you know, black, you know, that because that seems to be the thing right now. Maybe not with the Atabey because they're not as affordable and it's not as easy to get your hands on it, something like that, so you don't smoke them nearly as often. But I feel like every year, every season, the Soccer Con, there's always cigars that stand out that become the talk of the town, the talk of the cigar community, the talk of the industry. And when you get to that point, you smoke that cigar so much because you're smoking it by yourself. You're smoking the cigar with your friends. You're smoking it for your reviews. You're smoking it, you know, for to do a write-up on it. You know, you're smoking it just because somebody's trying to introduce you to this cigar. La da la da da. All that kind of stuff happens over and over. And you smoke that cigar so much, and everybody's talking about it so much, you see it all over. It gets to the point where you got to put it down, and you got to give it a break. And I think that's what happened with the pledge. I know that definitely happened with me and the Milano. I'm struggling with this cigar. All right. This is going to be sacrilegious, but bear with me. I feel like it has to be done, and there's no other way around it. I'm actually going to cut this cigar in half. Hopefully I don't burn myself or pull a Michael Jordan and cut my finger and do something crazy. I hated to do it, but that split, you see, like, look, you see where it's unraveling? It was already coming apart. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I got another cigar. I got to back up, but I really want to be able to enjoy a Cuban. Like I want to get the effect of having this Cuban. So this is pretty much like one of those like Mil Flores or Mil Flor, whatever. I got to do what I got to do. I think when the blend hits, manufacturers may tend to rush them to the market and don't allow the tobacco to really age. Just my opinion. No, and I don't think that's just your opinion. I really think I talked about this a lot, Shock, that, you know, when that was happening with the Allegiance, I'm almost sure that was the case with the Allegiance. And to move that forward just a little bit in time, I thought that was the case with John Huber's cigar with the Maduro for the Cornetta that I'm rocking right now, the hat that I'm rocking right now. I thought that was the case with that too. I've had it a couple times now, and I'm not really feeling the Maduro like I'm feeling the Mil Diaz Maduro. Mm. So much better. Oh my God, so much better. I don't really think that's the case. But I think that was the case with the Allegiance. I'm pretty sure that's what was happening with the Allegiance. And and that happens with a lot of cigars. And a lot of people experience that when they go to PCA or when they get like the early releases for cigars and stuff like that, and they need a little bit more time to kind of adjust and to settle, and that's cool. But I don't think that was the case with the Pledge. Maybe later on, like after it blew up, they got to produce more, and now they got to get more out there to the market and stuff like that. So maybe that was the case with a few of those. So that might be a reason why that cigar is going up and down. That's a great point, actually. Let me see what Intercost is saying here. Red Meat Lovers was a hit, man. Have you seen the one that he's doing right now? Have you guys been paying attention to Steve Saka? Just if you follow him on Facebook or whatever, he's been putting up a print for the one that's called like the Black Angus. That thing looks like it's gonna be killer, man. I really like. I haven't read up on it enough. I've just kind of seen that he's been printing the labels and kind of read little blurbs about it. But it seems like it's gonna be a limited run. I don't know which company he's doing it with, but it's kind of like he's doing another take on Red Meat Lovers. But I don't know if Red Meat Lovers was strong enough in of a presence or wide enough of a release that it's going to get to the point where it's kind of worn down. I still feel like it's people searching for the Red Meat Lovers to really get that experience with it. I see Red Meat Lovers pop up, but like if I'm on like a timeline or something like that, I'm not seeing it like every other post. You feel me? Even though it's a great cigar, it's a great hit, and it's getting a lot of great rapport. I just don't know. I think that cigar is like people, it's going to die down a little bit, and then he's going to do another release of it next year, and it's going to kind of do the same thing, die down, and keeps doing this because it's such a smaller batch. Said I really enjoyed the Sin Compromiso and smoked so many that I started not to enjoy them. I can definitely see that being a thing. I got a couple from a couple years ago and give it another try. I love that cigar. I'm kind of glad you mentioned that, man, because I was talking recently about cigars that have that moment where you haven't smoked it for a while, and then you go back to it and you realize how much you actually love that cigar. And one of the cigars that is like that for me is the Sin Compromiso. I really tried to smoke that cigar sparingly just because I love that cigar so much. And I know I go off about John said he still love him. I do too. And that's kind of what I was saying. I know I go off about, Saka's brand a lot, and I go off about Sin Compromiso. But there are times when I put that cigar down and I go back to it and I was like, and then I get that kind of effervescent note in there. It's almost like a minty, menthol kind of thing going. And I'm like, this is why I love this cigar. And I just had it in my head just a second ago. There's another cigar that I was just talking about. I just had it the other day. Oh, the SP1014 Red. I think I was talking about this on Instagram. The SP1014 Red. Every time I go back to that cigar, I'm like, God, I love it. I forget how much I like that cigar until I go back to it. And I think La Imperiosa, that's another cigar. I go back to it and I'm like, God, I love this cigar. And sometimes you need that break. Sometimes you kind of need to spread it out. And as much as I talk about Mi Querida, I love the Mi Querida. I take my time with it. Same thing with Atabase. I got a few of them downstairs. I love those cigars, but I take my time with it. And the reason why, because I don't ever want to get that cigar burnout with the cigars that I know that I love. So it's like finding that balance in there with the with your favorites. You got to be able to find that balance because it's so easy. It's like whatever your favorite drink is, you go and you get that. I'm gonna go get a lemon squash while I'm out here in Japan, damn near every day, or I'm gonna get a orange monster, after my workout, like every day, and because it becomes a part of your routine. But it's only human nature to experience burnout at some point in time. And the one thing that I don't want to do is actually burn out the cigars that I absolutely love. I don't want to do that. And I know it's happened. Everybody's done it before. M is up in the place to be. Said, what up, EKB? I'm smoking a Definition Noir after a year of rest, and it's fire. Love that Cameroon. Dude, I cannot say it enough. I cannot rant and rave about how much I love that cigar, man. And just in general, I kind of want to give, I might have to send the dude a message, man, and just get a man his flowers. Jamon got busy with the Cameroon. That Noir is a chef's kiss. And that's another cigar. Like I got one more downstairs. I got one more. And I'm like, yo, I need to go out and cop a box. Straight up and down, I need to cop a box. And it's not too many cigars that it's like I have an urge to have a box of, but that's a cigar that I want to be able to have on hand to go back to it. Plus, I want to support Definition in general. I just want to be able to support him a lot more. I can't get a box right now, but that's probably going to be the first one that I go out and get. I love the Equalizer too, but I'm so glad that you brought that cigar up because right now I feel like it's going to be the time of the Cameroon Wars. It's going to be the time, shouts out to Mike with Cigar Carpenter too for doing his shootouts with the Cameroons and doing the shootouts with a bunch of different cigars and whatnot. But I really feel like for me right now, top of the top is always going to be the Don Carlos Eye of the Shark Cameroon. But between the RS-88 Cameroon and the Definition Noir Cameroon, that might be my 2A and 2B. And I need to go back and forth to really decide which ones I love more. Because that's, again, a cigar that, like, each time that you light it up, each time that you smoke it, you're like, fuck, this is good. It's so good. And honestly, this Partagas is banging right now that I cut it. I hate that I couldn't smoke the whole thing. This is an excellent cigar, too. And it's kind of reminding me, I'm saying that because there's a sweetness to this cigar, and it's a sweetness to the Definition that kind of remind me of each other. It doesn't have that Cuban taste in here, but there's a I don't even know how it's like that sugar cane note. Sugar cane. That's a good way to describe it. And speaking of, I want to change directions a little bit. For those of you that are in here that can actually comment and that can actually, get some feedback. Have any of you had the Charisma yet? That was released by Sanj Patel. I haven't had the cigar. I know everybody's like, "Ooh, you ain't had that cigar yet." No, he hasn't sent it to me. I haven't reached out to buy it. If I probably reached out to buy it, he probably gonna choke the fuck out of me. But that's a cigar right now that I really want to experience, because the first time that we did an interview with the Infamous crew, long before we were the Infamous, and we chopped it up, that was a cigar that, like, when he described it, I wanted, and he just described it as pure sugar cane. So I'm seeing people smoke the cigar, but I'm not seeing anybody give it a real breakdown and a real, like, dissection of what they really think about the cigar. And that's what I can't wait for. I want to experience it myself, but I also want to see what other people are thinking about it. Let me put that out there to y'all in the comments to see what everybody says. So the homie Rob Cunningham said that Sim Compromiso is fire. Enjoyed that mentholy flavor. If I remember correctly, you had to come around to the Red Meat Lovers after your first one. Yeah. So to kind of touch on that, that Red Meat Lovers, that's a good thing to talk about, especially to kind of, fill some space in this conversation. With that Red Meat Lovers, I'm going to give a shout out to the homie right here too first. What up, Clay? Let me go back to this. One thing about it, when I first had it, I couldn't get to the sin not sin compromise. I couldn't get to the red meat lovers. And shouts out to Master Ash for sending that cigar out to me. And I held on to it for a minute. I did not want to smoke that cigar without making it a thing. This is when, the Vintage Cigar was still doing reviews, and I was still heavy on trying to, set up a really big presentation, doing my reviews and whatnot. I'm living in Japan. There is a Wagyu place that's right down the street. There's a butcher shop that, it wasn't a butcher shop, it was a grocery store that served A5 Wagyu at the most reasonable price range that was possible. And I was like, yo, I'm not smoking this cigar until I get it with a nice glass of wine. And then I actually get that with the Wagyu. So y'all saw the show. If you go back on the channel, you can find it. It's still out there. I did that whole program. I set up my, my rooftop, and I got my wine. I got my red meat lovers. I got the Wagyu. I cooked it on the grill. It was cooked to perfection. I got to pat myself on the back. Your boy got busy with that Wagyu. I really did. I got busy. And, so Matt, what up? I got super busy, and I did that whole thing. But if any of you have ever experienced Wagyu is so oily, and it's so fatty, and it's so decadent, and it's so bold. It's so much flavor in that. It completely coated my palate that I couldn't taste the cigar. So my experience with the cigar at the time frame was just like, yo, it's just, I can't taste anything. So I was like, I don't know if it's the cigar, if I got let down by it, or if it's just that it's so much fat that's, on my palate right now that I really can't taste it. So I went back to it a couple times. So the more I went back to the red meat lovers, the more I could get that mesquite kind of woodiness in there. I could get the umami in there. I can get the beefy flavors. I can get that, quintessential earthiness that you get from, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. And now I absolutely love the red meat lovers. So at first I was like, man, I don't know. I'm not really sure about it. But that's how that evolved. That's why that changed. And I'm a big fan of red meat lovers now. That's why I'm kind of hyped to see what he's going to do with this Angus beef. Saka is one of those people, when he brands his cigars and he names his cigars, and this is why I appreciate him so much. I can't front, is that he's not just slapping a band on it, and he's not just giving it a name. Usually the name is going to have some kind of love to it, and it's going to have some meaning to what that cigar is going to taste like. It's going to give you, or what the experience is going to be like for your cigars. And I think everybody that's making their cigars should do that, man. Like, you should, if you're going to call your cigar something, if you're going to give it a name, if you're going to give it a branding, and it should stand out, it should be something that when people look at your brand or they pick up that cigar, they should know what they're in store for. And, if you're going to name something like, beef Angus, then that thing got to be savory. It got to be umami. It got to have a nice pepper to it. It got to have some depth to it. And it has to be coating your palate, full body. That's what I would expect from that cigar. All right, let me get some love out of here. Show everybody. So I said what up to Clay. Hey, one thing. What up, Matt? Shouts out to my homie Cigar Alchemist right now. And if you guys have not gone to support his GoFundMe, please do that, man. I tell you guys, I say it with all earnest. This is one of the nicest dudes on the planet, and he's just one of the best dudes to talk to. And I just love his approach to cigars. I love his approach to the community. Go out there and support my man, support with his family, support his channel. Go to his Patreon. I know he got a giveaway going. So show love to the homie Cigar Alchemist right there. Want to get love to the homie Peter M. is up in the place to be. Peter, what up? Tech is up in the place to be. Tech, what up? I love this one right here. Check this out. This is why I love Matt, yo. So let's go ahead and do it, man. Let's since he put that up there, let's go ahead and do it. So we both have been experimenting with the cornetta recently, and we've been in the background. We've been talking about crown heads. We've been talking about John Huber. John Huber has given me so much love. I know I don't have a lot of people on this live right now, so he's probably not gonna be here. But I did the live the other day when I was smoking the Muestra de Saca. It was the exclusive, if I remember correctly. I enjoyed that cigar too. If you haven't tried Muestra de Saca, go ahead and light it up. Matt, light up one of those Muestra de Sacas that I sent out to you, bro. Please do that, man. I'm saying that to say, to go in the long way around, what we're talking about right now is that you never know who's popping up. Because Steve Saka popped up in that exclusive live that I did. He put comments in it, and it was nice to see. I honestly thought he was going to be mad at me, for real. And the same thing with, the reason why that I had this hat is that, I was doing the live with Fred, and John Huber saw it. And he sent out because we were doing the Mil Diaz Maduro. He sent out a box. He sent out a thank you, which was dope. And the hats that he sent me, from his marketing, his swag, are absolutely amazing. I love this hat, bro. I think this is probably my favorite hat that I have in the collection right now. Can't front. That being said, I smoked the Cornetta. When he sent out that box, he sent me some cigars. I was hoping he was going to send me the Cornetta Habano. He sent me the Maduro. I'm not a big fan of the Maduro. This hat is absolutely fire. The banding on that cigar is fire. The cigars look good, but it's not my favorite from the portfolio of Crown Heads right now. And I can't, like John could easily see this because the dude is paying attention. And I don't want him to think that I'm not grateful for what he sent out to me, that I'm not grateful. I just got to be honest on like my opinions of these cigars. And I wasn't really feeling that cigar as much. I liked the Habano a lot more than I liked the Maduro. And I was shocked. And just that I was saying earlier in the commenting earlier that I'm thinking that the Maduro is going to be the banger. And I'm thinking it's going to be similar to the Mil Diaz Maduro, but this is like a light beer version of that, and it doesn't hit the same. And I thought maybe it had to do with that it needed more time than I thought if I had another one and, had a little bit more time. I haven't had the greatest experience with it. That being said, I don't know if I'm going to step on his show or anything like that. As you can see from the comment right here, Cigar Hound Dog is not the biggest fan of the Cornetta line. He and I were going back and forth. I was hoping that he was going to enjoy the Habano a lot more, and apparently he did not. So I got to go back. I got to spin the block. I got to try that cigar again. I got to see how that's going to work. But I wanted to put that out there. All love to Crown Heads. Y'all know I'm feeling Crown Heads, and they have a good run. But just right now, the Cornetta doesn't seem to be the one that's hitting the most. And it happens, man. It happens. But this hat is absolute fire. I'm going to rock this hat regardless. I don't care. This hat is absolute money. Let me see what the man Tech is saying here. He said, I agree. If you got a name, packaging, make sure that your cigar lives up to it. And that, look, dude. That's the whole point to the whole thing. Like, it would be crazy, man, to go out there. It's like when you go to a movie and, like, you got this big action-packed, cover. And, you got all these action stars up there. And then you go sit down to the movie and it's a love story. You're like, yo, what? That's not what I came here for. I didn't come here to see a love story. I came here to watch this action-packed movie. That's what y'all promoted to me, right? And that's what happens. And I'm not gonna go off with the deep end. I'm not gonna jump off to be controversial right now. But I can guarantee you guys can think of a certain company that does this right now. Just like all their bands, it's just like it could just be anything, and it's just anything to hype up the cigar. But then when you smoke the cigar, you're just smoking dust, and it's just like, come on, fam, like what are we doing? So that's why you can't help but give props to a company like Hoya de Nicaragua. I feel like they're money when it comes to that. Steve Saka is good with it. Foundation is really good with that. I would say even Crown Heads. You got companies like Tatuaje that keep it kind of simple, but at the same time, I still think they give you an idea. The Florida Minute, the kind of they don't really change too much. But the companies that really try to go out there when they're naming their cigars and their branding, they do a good job. Like that do that. And you got these other ones that are just like, dude, you just sold me a bill of goods, and that's super whack. And homie, you know it's nothing but love, bro. Let me see what Matt's saying, because I know it's like, oh, salt of the earth, word up. That's really my guy, man. Like, you know, and it's easy to say that, like, because we homies and we talk on a regular basis. We chop it up literally daily. So it's easy for us to say that, man. But I do want everybody to know, like, just straight up and down, like, I'm not just rocking with these dudes just because, you know, I'm trying to get clout or whatever, man. I'm not going to kick it with you just for that. I'm not going to kick it with you just to go out there and just try to get a name or try to grow my channel or try to do anything like that. I'm doing this because these people I feel like are the real deal. You know what I'm saying? And I just hope, you know, that would never change. But from Matt, you know, to John, I could never see that being the case, that I ever would have to worry about these cats. Just genuinely salt of the earth people, straight up and down. You kind of worry about that sometime, man. It's like, just with this cigar culture within itself, like everybody, you know, especially when you're getting into it, you're trying to develop a viewership, you're trying to develop a base of people to support your channel, you're trying to develop a brand, you're trying to develop everything. There's a lot of people that chase clout. That's just kind of the way the culture is. And you can kind of feel that people can get thirsty and kind of get angsty sometimes. And you hate to see it. But I just feel like anything that you do, if you're not developing it and building it organically, then it's no need for you to really do it, man. Just like, for all of you out there that are really into cigars, if you're trying to make a channel, and I've said this a million times, and I try to, you know, make this a part of what my channel is about. If you're gonna make content, just be yourself. Really, you know, just like, if you respect who you are as a human being, if you respect your own palate, if you respect your own opinions, and I think if you're being earnest with giving your feedback on cigars, with giving what flavor notes you're tasting, when you're developing your show, picking the music for your channel, or setting up your background, trying to, you know, create a group of people, just be yourself, man, because you're going to fall in line. If people really dig who you are, and if you're really being genuine in yourself, they're going to invite you in. They're going to say, hey, come be a part of this. Or they're going to say, like, I want to be a part of what he's doing. And your channel will develop on its own. Your identity will develop on its own. You never have to, like, try to pull on somebody else's coattails or trying to use them to get a leg up or try to use them to get attention. The people that want to be down for you are going to be down for you. They're going to support what you do. People are going to find you, and you're going to find your tribe. And, you know, you're just going to, you know, you're going to get in there somewhere. Organic, you know, just like, sometimes it might take a little bit of time. And I'm going to put this up here because I just saw that Ben said that too. Boom. Organic growth for the win. No doubt. Look. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit of a grind. Sometimes it's going to take some time that you got to, you know, crack out video after video. You got to sit back and you got to toil in your room and come up with idea after idea. And you got to smoke cigar after cigar after cigar. And you got to really develop your own palate. You got to develop your own sound. And I'm going to equate this to music. I'm going to show love to everybody up in here. What up? Tiki is up in here too. What up? Appreciate y'all showing love. Thank y'all for joining the channel. It's really one of those things, man, that sometimes you can see and you can feel when somebody is not being themselves. And you can kind of feel when they're being disingenuous. And you can kind of tell when it's just like they're trying to push the envelope and you just want to be like, hey, yo, just be cool. If I'm, you know, kicking it with you, if I'm talking to you, obviously I got some respect for what you're doing. And I'm going to support. I'm going to be in the comments. I'm going to watch the channel. And it'll come. But sometimes you just got to work to get the fan base. Because I can honestly remember just with the vintage cigar, you know, I was hyped when I got 500 subscribers to the channel. I mean, like, I cannot tell y'all because I felt like I was in a bubble. It was just after, you know, the pandemic. I'm in Japan. There are no cigar lounges. There's no cigar cruise that is out there. and I'm talking back and forth to a camera like this. But I was just like, I can't do this if I'm not being me. You know, I couldn't try to, get on Ron Will's coattails. I couldn't try to get on Lee Mack's coattails. I couldn't try to get on Cowboys coattails or Cigar Obsession or anybody out there. I had to figure out what people were going to see in EKB that's going to make EKB a value to YouTube, a value to the people who love cigars, the brothers and sisters of the leaf. I had to just figure out like what was going to be my way. And I also felt like in the same time, like I got to be out here and listen to other people and just be a part of what they're doing and seeing how they're growing and ascending. And that's how the new wave came about. That's how Cigars Unbanded came through. It's just being able to just like, okay, these people love cigars the way I love cigars. And I never tried to do anything that was going to make this more than what it was, man. You meet people like, you meet people like Fred, and you meet the Sanj Patels, and then over time, like, oh shit, I'm having a conversation with John Huber, I'm having a conversation with Steve Saka. And there was never a time that I had to feel like, I had to push and try to do something and be something. Actually, let me change that. There was a time I felt like when I was doing the impersonations of people and just doing that as a part of my channel, I thought I was going to be a thing that people was going to be like, oh, okay, people can see that I'm a fan of all of these different people who were doing cigar reviews, whether it was Tim, whether it was Insomniac or whomever. I thought it was fun. I like doing impersonations. You guys see that, and I do that from time to time. And I want to talk about something random with that too, but I'll get back to that in a sec. But there was a period where I just stopped doing it because I was like, they're not me. Why am I doing that? And that's not going to be the thing that's going to actually grow the channel. And it's not something that anybody really even remembers from the channel, because I was doing something that I love, but I don't feel like it was 100% authentic. And I scrapped it. And honestly, after that, the channel grew a lot better when I went more in depth in doing the top 10 list, doing the buyer's guides, doing the smoke your best cigars. I honestly felt like that's when people really started to show love when I got to that point. Let me see what the homie Rob is saying right here too. The guys that I do the Saturday night live stream, how did I come across those gentlemen? So I assume you're talking about with the infamous smoke show, right? And I talked about this recently. So myself, Cigar Hound Dog, DJ with Pick Jimmy, John with Cigar Alchemist, and Michael with Master Your Ash. Shout out to Michael Q. That's an inside joke. Anyway, I gotta put this Partagas Lusitanians down. Once again, that was organic. I talked about this on the last live, I think, too. But to make it quick, and to answer your question on that one, the way that happened was we were all just working on our channels. We were all just putting, a lot of effort and into growing our brands and growing our own identities. And DJ was doing this channel where he was just like, yo, these are other channels that you guys should watch out for. And he highlighted us up there. And we all would just kind of feel like, yo, that's love, he actually showed love to our channels and whatnot. And we just kind of started, talking behind the scenes, like kind of individually. Then we just kind of started a group chat. Myself and Matt, like, especially at that time, like our palates were kind of like on the same page. We were kind of getting into a lot of the same cigars. And Matt was doing his thing, just sending out bombs, and we sending bombs to each other. Matt just, being extremely, gracious and sending out like super dope ass bombs. And it was just really, it happened so fast that it just came to a point that we just started chopping it up. Then it was just like, yo, we might as well just, form like Voltron. Let's just do a show together. And we put it out there, and we were just trying it as a new wave. We also kind of wanted to be in a place where we wanted to make this cigar journey fun, where we could nerd out, we could talk about cigars, we could talk about everything and just have fun, laughing with each other like we do in the background. Instead of, being the type of people that were putting other people down and disrespecting other people's shows and claim other people were stealing and, trying to be the top boss of the cigar industry, when it would work better than we could all just be be friends and everybody could just click and just hang together. And it just kind of became a thing that was like, yo, let's do this religiously. And it just started to work. I feel like everybody has their own fan base. Everybody has, I hate using fan base. Ugh, that's nasty. Everybody has their own viewership. Everybody has the, the people that rock with them. Collectively, we all have like, Matt has like 25K subscribers. I got close to 5K. I know DJ is probably at like 6 to 7K right now, and John is growing exponentially right now because he was the newest, and it was so cool because John was just like, yo, came to me in the background, just like, yo, what can I do to start a channel? I just kind of want to come to you. He was like, I watch the show, I like how you do it. And I just thought it was super cool that he came to me like that, man. We just kind of chopped it up as Goodfellas in the background. I was like, look, man, this is what I see from your personality. I think you should do it. Go out there and just be yourself. He put a show out there. I'm like, dude, you're going to be great at this. Just do it. And he came apart because he's just a good dude. He came apart with the new wave, and he was just meant to be there just because he was a good dude and he makes good content. That's really it, man. It's just really dudes that love cigars, just started chopping it up and kicking it. And it just kind of grew into what it was. We all got, different people that we could bring to the table. Everybody could come together, form like Voltron. You go up in the place to be getting love. And Ben was saying that, the passion. That's what it's all about, man. You gotta be able to love the people that love cigars. You gotta be able to love cigars and get into it. I'm glad I had a little bit of a taste of a Cuban cigar, man. I needed that. I kind of wish that cigar that I didn't have to cut it in half. The beauty of a Partagas Lusitanius is it's such a long cigar, and you got nothing but time to be able to sit back and enjoy that. I really wanted to smoke that whole cigar, and that thing was absolutely amazing, man. The cereal notes in there, the grassy Cuban terroir that was in it, a nice cedar. It was smooth, creamy. That would have been amazing if I could smoke that whole thing, man. But it is what it is. You kind of deal with it. So now we're gonna switch up to this Dale. It's by Luciano. What's the cat Dale? He got a weird name. My brain is always thinking Salvador Dali when I see his name. But it's the same cat that makes the Istanbul. I haven't had this cigar. I know somebody that's in the comments here have had this cigar. You guys can tell me what you guys think about it. Kind of give me your feedback. Sorry about that. But while I'm lighting this up, I was talking about doing the impressions and impersonations, right? And I grew up in the 80s. So y'all know that I love Eddie Murphy. I was the kid that was sneaking around in my room, listening to Eddie Murphy, and my older cousins, we would watch Eddie Murphy and all that. My kids will never see anything like that. And it's so funny that I was watching Eddie Murphy Raw. I was watching Delirious when I was a kid. I was watching him on Saturday Night Live. So like I love Eddie Murphy. Like that was my cat, man. But I shouldn't have been watching that at like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Interesting. This is way different than that Cuban. Wow. Anyway, so I was watching the video recently. He just recently did, Beverly Hills Cop. He just recently released that joint, Axel Foley. And I haven't watched it yet because I don't think it's going to be good. But I do love the personality of Eddie. So, when people release their TV shows and their movies, they got to do the press run and whatnot. So he was talking about his laugh. And everybody knows the Eddie Murphy laugh. I used to do that a lot as a kid. I would be in class and I used to mess with people. They said something I really thought was funny, or they'd use the Eddie Murphy joke. I'd be like, oh, and I used to just do it just to mess with people because that laugh meant everything for me, right? And I used to wonder if Eddie Murphy was just like joking around, if he was just like, if the laugh was fake. So if you guys haven't seen it, he has a short where he's talking about like, yo, the laugh is real. Like that was really his laugh. And he noticed that everybody was laughing. And he was like, yeah, I noticed that people were laughing at me. And I was just like, that's my real laugh. So I work really hard to change my laugh. And I noticed this a few years ago. If you notice now when Eddie Murphy laughs, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do it at all anymore because he was self-conscious about it. So now when Eddie Murphy laughs, he kind of laughs like I do, not when I do my high-pitched laugh. But that's the way, like you can see that he's trying to hold back. So if he's laughing at something, he never does a full-on laugh. It's just like, and he just leaves it right there. And it's funny, the dude that has that much fame, that has that much notoriety, he has that much clout, he has that much cachet in the game of just being that talented. The dude, does impersonations himself. He's one of the greatest stand-ups of all time. He got a illustrious movie career, and he can do all of this, right? Mug hung around with Prince. He makes music. He does reggae music. He does pop music. And this dude was self-conscious about his laugh the whole time. And it's one of the things that helped make him famous. And it's just it was kind of a beautifully human moment to me to see like somebody that I had looked up to for so long. And just as a fan, just kind of watching, I noticed that he changed his laugh. So I always wanted him to talk about it and address it. So to see him to go back to it and kind of, explain that, why he kind of took his laugh down, and to see that human moment that like, yo, he was self-conscious too. We all go through it, man. It's kind of a wild thing. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to the cigars. So John said the first Dale I had was good. The second was ass. I think they have QC issues. Hey, we're gonna find out right now. This is not bad so far. It's kind of like a woody, spicy thing. It's not too much pepper, but it is very, very woody. I'm not getting much more other than that. It feels like it can kind of smooth out, so I'm gonna allow it to get to the heart and kind of balance out and see where it goes. Yeah, so like he's saying, the quality issues with the Istanbul. I did that. I smoked the Istanbul up here, but I don't think I was doing a live at the time. And I enjoyed the cigar as far as the fact that it's probably one of the most unique profiles that I've ever had. But that thing blew up on me in the end, John. That thing like literally turned into, it was worse than that Cuban that I had. It turned into sawdust at the end of that. No, this one's not the Istanbul. It's just the Dale. And if like I don't know if I want to do it up here and take a look into it, because I didn't take a look to see what this cigar was made of. I'm assuming this is some kind of a Habano wrapper. Maybe I will. Let's see. I don't know. I hate not talking on doing the live and kind of looking up stuff. That's really not the best thing to do. Like, I only got like 14 people in here. Normally it's like, I'm going on, I got mad stuff to talk about, and I'm talking like nonstop. So I don't want to do any dead air. The last time I was on, somebody was in here from Germany and was telling me that I need to try these cigars out and really see what they was popping about, man. So I love the fact that I can do these shows, man. Somebody might be in here from Germany or something. That's kind of cool. So I'm gonna look into this and get into the comments that we got popping right now. It said Eddie Murphy Raw. I can make. Oh, I see what you did there. Look, to this day, me and my fam, we always still doing, like my cousins and my brother, we all still doing like, the Goonie Goo Goo shit or the Rocky. Hey, Rocco. Like I still do a lot of the routines from Raw, man, and Delirious, man. Like Eddie was on some other shit, bro. He really was a genius comic. But it's just crazy, like the stuff that he was doing in the comedy at that point. Like you can never get away with it right now. Like Eddie would have been canceled so fast, it's crazy. Let me see what it says, giving love right here, man. But I still like to do like, Aunt Bunny oh Lord Jesus Christ, help me falling down the stairs. Like I still do that shit, that whole routine, man. That shit is just brilliant. Good to see you too, homie. What up, though? Did I just had the Luciano Maria Lucia box press that rocked my world? One of my all-time faves. It really is a good cigar. I don't know if I will put it that high, and I haven't smoked it in about a year. Matter of fact, the last time I had that cigar, I was sitting up on the rooftop. I think I got a review out for it. Go check that out to see and let me know. I'm pretty sure I did a review on that one, and I enjoyed that cigar, man. And I think it's kind of underrated. And I don't know, maybe you guys can give me an opinion. But like, you know, what John was saying, that, you know, there might be some quality control issues. I felt like there was a time when it was like Ace Prime and Luciano and what's the other cat? It begins with a P. I don't know. I can see the band. I can't think of the name of the band. My brain wants to say Perdomo, but it's not Perdomo. But it's the cat that Luciano was having beef with. And I think once they separated, Ace Prime kind of fell off the map. Luciano kind of fell off the map a little bit. And I feel like they were making, you know, great cigars for a period. But I think they had to move factories and all that kind of stuff. You know, Matt can get a lot better into the minutia than I can with that. But I think that kind of affected the trajectory of all of their brands. You know, the homeboy that used to play from the Spurs was making cigars with them. He was one of the owners of Ace Prime. And I just think they had a major falling out, man. And I think it affected all of their cigars. So I was smoking Luciano cigars for a period there. Like I was really into him. I was really into Ace Prime. And I really haven't seen him as much. And this might be the first Luciano I've had in a while. It was kind of dope to me to see that, you know, Jamar from Definition Cigars is working with Luciano, though. So I'm hoping, like, in the near future. Pichardo, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to get back to these comments, but thank you right there. John came through with a save on that one. Yeah, it was Pichardo. And I, like, my brain, like, mixes up words. So forgive me for doing that. But I feel like nothing was the same with that whole line, man. And they were doing some really good stuff. But that Maria was a solid cigar. But I don't think it really got the attention that it deserved. And it's kind of, it's one of those cigars that kind of disappeared into the background. I'm glad you had a chance to smoke that cigar and really get an experience with it in a cost, because I really think it was solid. Let me see. He said, auto impressions are great, especially when smoking a cigar. And I can do that, but I don't do that, you know. And I dig it too. And it's a lot of people that do like the Arnie stuff. And the most I do now is like, you know, to get to the chopper joint, because that just makes me laugh. Like every time. One, I'm a diehard Schwarzenegger movie fan. I know I talk about doing my 80s remote channel. I have not had enough time to actually make the channel. But when I do Commando, when I review that movie, I'm going all out. I'm going all out with the impersonations, because I love that movie, and Predator absolutely loved that movie. Like I'm not kidding. They're like some of my all-time favorite movies, especially as a kid growing up watching that joint. Like I remember the first time I saw Predator, I was 7 years old. I was in my aunt's house watching that movie. That's one of those movies I remember where I was the first time that I saw it. So when he was like, you know, run, get to the chopper, like that is just, if you're not dying laughing every time you see that joint, or if you're just not filled with joy, it's something wrong with you as a person, man. You might be a sociopath. Let me see what everybody's saying here. So it says that Pichardo makes some decent affordable sticks. They do, and that's the thing, man. Like that whole crew. Tiago Splitter, that's his name. Tiago Splitter. It took me a second, but it got it. Tiago Splitter, Luciano, and Pichardo were doing Ace Prime, and they were making great affordable sticks. And they had a really good run, but it disintegrated, and it didn't really go that well. Let me see. So I don't know. Hopefully, like Luciano is going to continue to make some really good stuff. I like what he's doing with Dale. I can't say that I'm really loving this cigar, but it's something. because they only had one prime cuts and they had construction issues, you know. And I'm trying to think, because I think during that time, like when I was doing reviews, I was reviewing a lot of their cigars. I know I did the Dominique Wilkins cigar. I know I did the Sergeant, and I know I did the Maria. And it was something it was some Ace Prime that I was giving a lot of love. If y'all go back to the Vintage Cigar and get into the channel, it was a lot of stuff going on. Because one, I love Dominique Wilkins, so I couldn't wait to review that cigar. I was like, that's my man. And my man got a like the Human Highlight reel, got a cigar. Like I need to see what that's about. And I was giving them love for the most part for a lot of the cigars that they were putting out, but it's just like they fell by the wayside. If you think 2 years later, nobody's talking about any of those cigars. Yeah, Tiago Splitter, the basketball player. Yes, that Tiago Splitter. What happened to Sully? I let him go. Hey, Sully, remember I said I was going to kill you last? I lied. That shit is so good, bro. And look, I tell you, I talk about this all the time. I was absolutely in love with Ray Don Chong. My wife looks like a mix between Ray Don Chong and Tracy Ellis Ross. I'm not making this up. But it's funny because like I was in love with Ray Don Chong. And like, yo, so you got Ray Don Chong, and as a kid, Alyssa Milano, that was my crush, man. I watched her ever since Who's the Boss. And I was even watching Charm because of Alyssa Milano. That chick was just bad to me. So like bad. So you put all of them in a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, bam, come on, man. Let off some steam. Hey, Bennett, let off some steam. That's good stuff right there, yo. And I know y'all think I'm wild, like bugging out, like, but y'all see it, man. I get hype over these movies, man. You recommending the Macanudo? I got one Macanudo that my homeboy brought back from the United States for me. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you. I don't generally smoke Macanudos, but I try to take people's recommendations to heart, man. So I ain't gonna throw that out there. So if I come across that Macanudo, I'm gonna check to see if that's the one that I got in the house. The one that I got came in a glass tube. So does this one come in a glass tube? I might have it, but I will smoke it off of recommendation. I will try it. So what up, brother? What up to you, man? How you doing? Whiskey Contract up in here. Good to see y'all. Thank y'all for joining in. Said John said he got to bounce. Much love, brother. Appreciate you, man. You my guy. Yo, Ray Don Chong was everything to me, boy. I watched that super racist movie called Soul Brother. How many of y'all remember Soul Brother? Even as a kid, I knew something was wrong with that movie. But why did I watch it religiously? Because it had Ray Don Chong in it. I mean, I was in love with that chick, man. Y'all couldn't tell me nothing about Ray Don Chong. All right, who's that? In the car said he got to run. Peace, man. Thank you. I appreciate y'all joining in, man. I never know what is always going to be the best time to do these shows. I don't know if Friday night is always going to be the best move, but it's still worth a try to kind of get out there and just to see what it's going to do. I did the last show that I did. I try to do that late at night. I got to be careful about that, one, because my voice travels. Two, I wanted to really kind of get out there so I can get a different group of people to join in, because everybody was like, oh man, I missed you live, I ain't get to join in. Yo, yeah, weird hours. But this Japan time frame is just crazy, man. So I got to do my best. I got to try to get in where I can fit in. Said no glass tube, but it's a sleeper. I usually don't do Macanudos either. My brain, I'm struggling with words. Nah, so I feel you. So I'm worth trying that. What did you get from that cigar? What stood out to you about that cigar? What you know about it? Why you putting that in? I finally pulled up the information on his Luciano Dale. So we got an Ecuadorian Corojo 99 for the wrapper. Okay. We got a Brazilian Ecuadorian for the binder. So we got two binders. and that's I can never say that. Arapiraca, Ecuadorian Corojo 99. And then it's Nicaraguan filler from Esteli, Jalapa, Mazatepe, and Pueblo Nuevo. So, I mean, it sounds like a nice blend. You kind of get a little bit of the Brazilian in there, a little bit. There is a nuttiness to it, and it's like that waxy nut. I might have to put y'all on pause in a little bit to go get a third cigar. I'm going to see. I'm going to decide. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to do a third cigar while I'm up here, because I really couldn't get the full experience out of that Partagas, even though I thoroughly enjoyed it. This one is good, but I don't really feel like it's satisfying me. It does have a little bit of an almond kind of almond milk kind of thing going. It has that Brazil nut a little bit, and I'm thinking with that Corojo 98 that I would get a little bit more spice, but it's nice. It's a little smoother and sweeter than I expected it to be. It's kind of, I want to say it's mild. It's mildish. Not a bad cigar. It's decent. Says 7th grade, I would come home every day and watch Apollonia jump into Lake Minnetonka for sure. For sure. For sure. One, like, if you go back and watch Purple Rain, like now that we are older, we are more mature. Purple Rain is a wild movie. But that whole scene, Prince was a wild boy for having her jump into that lake like that. Like, have you ever purified yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka? Prince, yo. You gotta love that shit, man. And then you got the scene in Purple Rain when Morris Day took the chick, him and Jerome took the chick and threw her in the trash can. Like they could never get away with that. But honestly, if you're a young boy, if you just growing up and your first time watching a movie is seeing Apollonia jump into Lake Minnetonka, like you get hair on your chest just off of that scene right there alone. It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna get back to Ja right here. Let me see what he's saying about that Macanudo. It says balanced, sweet, nutty, very complex combination of leaves. Dude, that description right there talking about a Macanudo is wow. I gotta say, I'm glad to hear it, but that's not what you expect from a Macanudo. So that's kind of cool, man. So I'm definitely willing to try that out, man. If you get a chance, y'all know how my memory is. If you get a chance, send me a message on Instagram at The Vintage Cigar and send that to me so I can kind of keep that in my notes. I try to keep up with stuff that people recommend to me like that, just so I can see what it's about. I'm getting a tan right here. Like the boy is gonna be chocolatey in a minute, boy. This sun is and this humidity is crazy. I'm gonna have the wife beat a tan. He said, I'm going to cancel my monthly subscription box, $35. I need to prioritize at end of the year box buy. I'm messing up the TCG. You got to break down the TCG for me, man. I don't know what the acronym stands for. And which box do you have? Because that's really going to matter. TCA box. I often get new releases. TCA. Man, I'm really bad with the acronyms right now, so I don't know, and I haven't been keeping up with anybody's boxes or anything like that. But that being said, what box are you trying to get for yourself? What are you trying to get at the end of the year? Like, so it sounded like to me like you got your eyes set on something. The Cigar Authority. Oh, okay, from United. Okay, peep that. I got you. Yeah, man, I've been hearing about Vegas, yo. I've been hearing about Vegas. Because y'all know Michael was in Vegas too, and so like, and I got a couple other people that's out there, man. I've been hearing about Vegas, yo. Stay safe. That's crazy. We not like that out here. We in the rainy season, so it's just hot and humid. It's probably only like maybe 80 degrees. It's just like 90% humidity out here. That's it. That's crazy. Probably bully up in the place to be. What up, though? And like, here's the thing about Cigar Authority, man. So I want to kind of go back to that. They that's that I don't really follow them like talking about. Shouts out to United though. I really rock with United, man. They looked out for me some time ago, but they usually are on point with the cigars and trying to getting the newer cigars and stuff that's up to date. And so that kind of happens. So that's cool. Are you getting anything out of there that's like that has been a standout for you? Because I think the Cigar of the Month clubs, I think this is worth it. $35 is not too bad. That's actually pretty reasonable because you got some boxes that go above that. If you can get lower than that, it's even better. But it's all going to depend on the quality that you're getting from the Cigar of the Month clubs. Anyway, that's going to be the most important thing. Oh, word! I didn't even know that was you, homie. What up, though? How you been? First of all, long time no see. As we say here, Hisashiburi. That's the homie right there. I don't know, man. I'm sorry to kind of drift off, man. I was trying to like appreciate the cigar. It's not a bad cigar. You know how sometimes you get certain cigars that I guess I could kind of put this in a similar vein to that Habano from Cornetta. That it's good, but it's not gonna be anything that's gonna blow your socks off. It got all the right flavors in there. It's smoking the way it's supposed to. It's stacking dimes. Pardon me for the hiccup. It's stacking dimes. It's actually doing the way it's supposed to. It has a decent draw, not the best draw, but a decent draw. You get a slight spice from the Corojo. You get the kind of almond creaminess in there. You get a little bit of that waxy Brazil nut. It's a little bit of that wood profile in there. I wouldn't quite say it's leathery. It's more wood, but it's solid. All right, so Ben, what did you think about the Byron? There's a lot of people out there who champion Byron, but for me, they're the people who really like Davidoff. I have not had like the Byron. Like right now, Peter is really into the Byron. I think Cigar Hound Dog was digging the Byrons and whatnot. I haven't really been feeling them like talk about, man. I don't really get into them, and I know they're kind of premium tobacco and all that, but they didn't really move me. I got to try the Alfonso again. The Alfonso I had recently was good, but I kind of rock with it, but not really with the Byrons as much. Boom. I say I want to get more bronze back in Paulpetta. So it seems like Cali Cal gave me some love on that Paulpetta. I enjoy the Paulpetta, and I don't really like the way they smoke as much, but the flavors you get from that Paulpetta is crazy because it's really like everything that you can get out of Steve Saka's line all in the one cigar, and I think that's absolutely amazing. Like it has a great earthiness and it has a great umami in there. That Paulpetta is amazing. Bronze back. I think y'all saw on Instagram, I kind of put recently that that's one of the best cigars that I've had this year so far. For a $9 cigar, to have that kind of citrusy, spicy thing going, that is just such a really good cigar. And that's one of the best things that Saka has done as of late. And I like the thing about that, like if you're looking into getting boxes, you can take that $35 for just the next couple months, and you could probably get a box of either one of those, and it's going to come in handy for you. I think those are definitely worth having a box right now. Because the only thing, because I've been thinking about, should I buy, a couple boxes for myself? Because I kind of want to change the way that I'm smoking cigars. And I want to enjoy more of the cigars that I just want to enjoy for the most part. And that definition cigar, the Noir, I definitely need a box of those. I don't really need to buy a box right now, the Cameroons, just because Sanj Patel has come so hard, has come through so much for me, with his cigars. But the bronze back is definitely one that I feel like anybody If you haven't tried it yet, you need to go out and get it. If you love it as much as I do, it's definitely worth having the box. The Polpetta at cost is definitely, worth having it. And it's worth getting a box of those too. It's pretty fantastic, man. Sorry for the dead air. I just kind of wanted to taste the cigar, kind of get a little bit of the flavor that's going on right here. I'm trying to taste the cigar. It's good. It's good. It's just not great. What else for you guys that are in here? I know some of you guys are just listening. I know some of you guys are in the background. But what has really blown you guys away? I'm kind of glad. I'm trying to see where the community is as a whole right now and what people are really enjoying. I've been really enjoying. I mentioned the Mil Diaz Maduro. I mentioned the Bronze. I was really digging that cigar. I had an LFD Chisel recently that actually blew my mind. That's kind of the first time in a while that I was like floored by a cigar. That was fantastic. I thought that was really good. Let me see what else is kind of cracking like that. I really want to know what you guys have really been digging, and that has really kind of like set it off for you as far as cigars that you guys have been enjoying. Hold up. Oh, okay. The have you guys had the Orthodox by Black Label Black Label Trading Company? The Orthodox was slapping. That thing is money. I was talking about that recently on the Infamous Smoke Show. Saving the 1850 bouquet for alive. Okay, that's a good way to go. You got to smoke your best. I like your style. Hey man, it's the whole process, man, is really to really be able to enjoy the hobby. You know what I'm saying? When you're experimenting, you're gonna get some duds. You're gonna get some cigars that are kind of like, eh. But the only way that you're gonna find those great cigars is really going out there and so you got to kind of find that balance. But when you're trying to kick back, when you're trying to do a live, where you know, as Matt would say, having a migar, when you're just having a cigar for yourself, you really got to know which cigars are going to be the cigars that you have fallen in love with, and that is really like your best of the best. And it's so easy just to sit back and fill your humidor up and just collect cigars and not really be able to get the experience of it. So if you got a cigar that's like that, have that moment with it. Take the time with it and really enjoy it, man, and smoke your best shit, man. I truly live by that. Yeah, dude, that's so funny, Moses. When I was saying that, I swear I didn't see this comment. I swear I didn't see it yet. That's crazy. So how do you balance exploring and migars? Do you do more of one than the other? I feel like right now, that's so funny that you put that up there, dude. That's crazy. I feel like right now I've been doing more exploration than I have been just kind of smoking cigars for my own pleasure. But a lot of the times when I'm coming up here with you guys, I'm usually like say for instance right now, I grabbed that Partagas Series D, not Series D, but the Partagas Lusitaneous because that's the cigar that I wanted. I was in the mood for a Cuban. It was a long cigar, and I felt like it would really give me a lot of chance to sit back and have a conversation with y'all and really explore and get deep into that cigar, and I can just really enjoy it, right? And I also, at the same time, I grabbed this Luciano just because I hadn't had it yet. I've been talking to people about the Istanbul, been talking a lot about Luciano cigars, been talking a lot about Dale. And so I was like, let me go out and explore this brand and just kind of see what's happening. So what you guys are doing right now, like you guys are getting that real time experience of how like I'm experimenting with cigars and how I'm exploring cigars. But usually at the end of the day, right, when I've had a day where I've been working or I've been studying. I've been out with the kids. I've been in swim lessons. I've been throwing the football. Been playing Nerf guns. Been cleaning up the house. And I get to the end of the day, and I'm just tired. Most of those times, I go into either my science drawer, the Placencia drawer, the soccer drawer, or the Crown Heads, and I grab a cigar. Like, okay, I'm in the mood for Sin Compromiso. That's what I'm gonna smoke tonight. Or it's like, what am I feeling right now? Like, am I in the mood for something that's going to be earthy? Am I in the mood for something that's going to be sweet? Am I in the mood? That's what I do. So it's I would say it's pretty balanced, but I've been experimenting a lot more, just because I felt like I've been doing shows with Cigar Head Fred. I've been doing shows with Big Guilty Innocence podcast. I've been doing the Infamous show. So when I'm up there, like I'm trying to smoke some of the more, cigars that are kind of like in the popularity right now, that are more like people are trying to get a feel for, and so I'm trying to smoke some of the top cigars while we're doing that show, so that way we have something to talk about, so that we have a way that we can connect with some of the cigars that we're smoking. I just recently had the 149 Cortez from Placencia. I hadn't had that cigar yet. People have been ranting and raving and talking about that, so I had to take the time to really see what that cigar was like. And I feel like that, I can't really do this show any justice if I'm not really abreast on a lot of the cigars that are out there and trying some of the cigars that friends have been sending out to me. So to answer your question, man, it's really been kind of a juggling act. But there was a period a month or two ago where I was smoking 2 to 3 cigars a day. And I rarely do that. I rarely ever do that. And I was just smoking cigar after cigar, and I was just trying different stuff. Whatever was in the humidor, I'll just grab something. Let me try this today. This is a brand that I've never had before. Let me smoke this cigar. So it's really been a way of just kind of, developing the palate and kind of exploring. And that's where I was going with that. Plus, I also got to be able to give feedback to other people. Like, yo, if y'all saying like, yo, if I'm recommending cigars to you guys, so if you guys are recommending cigars to me, and I got to be able to say like, yo, I've had this, I haven't had it. I really try to really see what's cracking and really try to explore everything out there. I got to be able to have some kind of consciousness of what's popular, what's out there, what cigars taste like. And it's hard to keep everything in the mental database, but you try. You know what I mean? The Dias de Gloria Brazil by AJ has been the best stick I've had this year. I haven't even seen that. Dude, if you get a chance, please shoot me that cigar into my inbox, man. At the Vintage Cigar Instagram. Please send that to me, because I'm curious about that. I like Brazilian tobacco, yo. I kind of wish this cigar had more Brazilian in it. Because I really do like that terroir, and it does give you that Brazilian nut, kind of an oily, nutty profile. That cigar sounds like it'll be amazing, and I wonder if it has that, the signature AJ pepper in there. So I'm kind of curious about that. I want to see what that's all about. What was the review on those pepper cream sodas? Haven't ran into them. So y'all know that I'm really not the biggest fan of that line, but I did enjoy that pepper cream soda. I wouldn't say I did a review on it, but I did, smoke it. I think I was up here. I might have been on a live or something like that. I did have that cigar, and I can't front. I really did enjoy it. And, I was talking earlier about how certain cigars, like if you're going to market it as something like with pepper cream soda, that's what it should taste like. And it did. It lived up to it. So I'm not mad at that cigar one bit. The homie Lawrence is up in here, man. What up, homie? How you been, brother? Had a Luciano the Dreamer recently. I liked it. I like the Dreamer too. I haven't had it in a while. It's been a minute, but I did enjoy the Dreamer. And that's, again, when I was talking about, all the Luciano, Ace Prime, and when they were in their heyday in that period, that Dreamer was the one that really set everybody off. The Dreamer was the one that got everybody like really hyped about the whole, process and the whole line. And it was a really good cigar. I can't tell you like everything that I got from that cigar because it's been maybe 2 years since I've had it. but I remember digging that too. Said I've been introduced to DTT and Crown Heads plus Nice Fuente. It's been really good to me. Now y'all know that I go off on those cigars quite a bit. I'm glad you got a chance to kind of really dabble into that and really see what these brands are all about. Those are three of my favorites. There's no secret to that at all. But it's such a wealth within those portfolios to me that there's a lot of cigars that you can really delve into and really get into that you can really enjoy. And it's enough diversity with a solid through line for those cigars that you can really sit back and enjoy. You got to let me know what you've had out of those lines that you really like. Mike is up in here, man. I was just talking about you earlier, brother. What up, man? I was just saying, like, that your shootouts are crazy, especially, because we were talking about the Cameroons. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, please go subscribe to the Cigar Carpenter. Please go and watch his shootouts. There's just absolutely fantastic content. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not just saying that. It's real shit. And that's the way I think, cigar reviews should be done. When you really get a chance to nerd out and break down, do a lot of comparisons, test out your own palate, inform other people's palates. That's good content right there. Go show some love to the homie right there. And, there's some new Cameroons that are out there. I see that the Cigar Collective, shout out to my homie Peter, is up in here too. That is absolutely like, it's a lot going on with the Cameroons. I got my favorites. That new Aladino I have not had and had a chance to try yet. So I want to see what that's about. Had Foundation Charter Oak, which I used to like, but now C tier. Look, so I don't even think that's PPS. Honestly, I think that's just the fact that, it is a budget cigar and the cigars themselves are evolving and your palate is evolving. And that's just kind of how it happens, man. So it's gonna change. So it is what it is. Yeah, that 149 was major. I gotta say, I didn't love it like I was expecting to love it, but the way that cigar smoked was fantastic. And just in general, like I would probably prefer, like, I didn't like the Gordo one that I had. It was a box press. I didn't like that one as much. But when I've had it in the smaller Vitolas and I had it in that Cortez, were some of the best that I've had so far. Super legit. Super legit. Super legit. And I'm saying that, like, if you guys have not subscribed to the homie, please go subscribe to the channel. And I'm not gassing the homie up right here. See? It ain't just me. It ain't just me. Look at that. See, I got to get that Aladino. I got to get it. I got to try it. I got to see what that's about, man. Because look, if it's going to come anywhere close to the Don Carlos, it's going to come anywhere close to the Definition, and if it's going to come close to the R88, you're talking my kind of language. That's a cigar that I want to, I really want to, partake in and see if it lives up to the hype. Having that Definition Noir the other day, man, I was just like, God damn, the cigar is so good. It's certain cigars where it's like you smoke a cigar and it's like, oh, just like what Ben was saying with the Foundation. It's just like, it's not what I remember it being. Certain cigars, when you go back to it's even better than the last time you had it. And that's when you got something that's magic. I said I've only been smoking cigars for 8 to 9 months. Oliva Special G, Bellicoso, Davidoff Signature 2000 have been my favorites right now. Those are good cigars, man. They're solid. I wouldn't put them anywhere near the top of my list. I guarantee you, there's going to be cigars that we're talking about here right now that you're going to dabble into. You're going to get into it. It's just going to blow those out of the water. And shouts out to the Oliva G. That's a good Cameroon. But the Cameroons that we just mentioned, take that and just blow it out of the water. So there's levels to this, homie. There's going to be some levels that you're really going to start like delving into that's going to blow your palate away. Okay, I got to go check that. I hadn't seen that review. It didn't pop up for me. So I'm going to go check that out, man. He said, I'm too anal. I need to try more stuff. Hey, dude, that's a part of it. That's the whole thing that we were just talking about, man, with like juggling, trying to figure out the cigars that you want for yourself, trying to figure out what you're reviewing, trying to figure out like how you're fitting into the community. and what's really popular right now. You just got to find that balance, man. It'll come. Let me see. He said the retro on that thing is Super Don Carlos. He had points. Oh. All right, man. That's big talk. That's some high praise right there. That's super high praise. So I got to see what that's about, man. Let me see what we got here. Smoking this yellow rose from Crown Heads, and it's a solid smoke so far in the first third. I think I got that one downstairs. I think I got it downstairs. I need to go try that, because if I put y'all on pause for a minute, I might run downstairs to see what I got. I might have to try something else, because I don't feel like this Dale I feel like it's good, but it's not hitting. It's not satisfying what I really need right now. If you try that, man, give me some feedback on what you think about that Ashton, man. Got a big ass beetle in my face right now. Yeah. I'm hearing the hey Mike. The way I'm hearing that sound like that movie I just watched. What's up? I love people showing love like that, man. This is the best thing about when the chat, when everybody chatting amongst themselves, everybody know each other and show love. That's what smoking your best cigars is all about, man. Y'all the best. Brother, ew. What's that, brother? Come on, man. You can't do that to an Ashton, yo. Relax, yo. Take it easy. Peter, take it easy. Yeah, see, I got to see this cigar myself, E. I got to see what that's about. So did the Series D hit, or was it constructed like shit? Okay. Oh, dude. So you missed the whole thing. I think the wind took the cigar away. So it wasn't a Series D. It was a Lucentannius. This is the first half of it, right here. I don't know if you can see it. That's just binder. So this is a Cuban that you can see how it's like bulging up at the end because the smoke wasn't really getting through right there. This was sent out to me by Sal. This was a Partagas Lucentannius, right? And the first portion of it, you can see right here where the crack was. That's what it had, a crack, and it split around the whole thing, and it was a gaping hole in there, and I couldn't get a good draw out of it. So the flavors were solid, but I couldn't get a good draw. So what I had to do was, like, right where that break was, I had to clip it, and I smoked like the last third of it, and it was great. I mean, it's a Partagas. It tasted great, but I had to split the whole cigar in half in order to enjoy it, which sucked, because that's really what I wanted. This is the cigar that I wanted to smoke, and it just happens like that sometimes, man. And, a Cuban is gonna Cuban. It is what it is. So I haven't had the experience in the moment that I wanted, other than the fact that I'm able to sit here and chop it up with you guys. That part is dope. But hey, I kind of knew when I came up here, like, I was gonna have to fight with it because it was a Cuban, and I was like, man, how is this gonna go? Like, the cigars that I chose for myself today, I really wanted a Cuban, and I wanted to smoke this, Luciano, just to see how the Dale line was going for me. And right now, I'm probably giving them overall a C, just as a grade. So I haven't had my smoke your best cigars experience that I wanted right here. So Lawrence said I got an Aladino in the mail yesterday. Sal, Peter, Mike convinced me. Shots out, man. So look, you know what I'm gonna say right here, man. Smoke that cigar. Let me get your feedback on it, man. I want to know your thoughts on it. Especially, like, I really love getting the feedback from the palates of people that I really respect. So that just kind of gives me an idea of what I'm going into, and kind of gives me a little bit of that anticipation for a cigar. So, like, yo, don't skip on it, man. When I tell y'all to hit me up in the inbox, feel free to do it, man. Let me know your thoughts and what y'all thinking. They're decent. They're decent. I do like Ashton, man. I do like Ashton, man. I didn't know they had a Cameroon either, though. So I'm kind of hyped to see that. See, I think I'm gonna have a Partagas 898. I've got chilling for a Cuban Sunday with Cuban Pete. That's what's up. Speaking of Pete, what you smoking for your Cuban Sunday, man? I wish I had known. I would have saved that. I would have saved that Partagas, because that's the last one. I don't have any more Cubans, and I'm not going out to buy any right now. I can't, and I won't. Oh, let me put Cali Cal up here on this, because this is absolute facts right here. Boom. Big facts. Big facts. And I know that the symmetry is kind of like the love-hate relationship out of the Ashton. You can't go wrong with the VSG. You can't go wrong with the ESG. But I like the symmetry too. And I know people kind of go back and forth with that. I had a so-so experience with the Epic Maduro. I really don't rock with that like that. So I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. I'm gonna be real with you. So I'm not surprised at all on that one. Okay, so you in good hands. If you got a D4 coming, you in good hands. And the thing about it's like that Lucentaneous. It's like a lighter version to me of the Series D. I feel like the Series D packs more of that Cuban profile in there to me. That grassy, earthy, nice cedar in there. Like, it's not too many cigars that taste more like a Cuban cigar to me than a D4. Like, it's just magic. It's just so good. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I wanted. And I just didn't, I got close to the experience today. It kind of scratched the itch just a little bit, but it didn't soothe it. I don't know. I wish I had more, man. I would sit back and smoke with y'all. Say Ashton Classic and Symmetry are only Ashtons I'm not pumped on. And that's not uncommon. And I don't like the classic joints. I don't even really rock with them like that. The Symmetry I can do. The classic joints is like, whatever. That's me. I can't say for anybody else. But that ESG and that VSG is like, if I can get my hands on them, let me have that. Let me see what that's talking about. I want to see what that Cameroon is talking about too. So what you think about that 55, man? Because the way you saying that right now, it sounds like you digging it. Where do you put it with the 56? All right. So here's my thing right now. I feel like I need to go down and grab one more. Y'all gonna stay with me? Y'all not gonna log off on me? Y'all gonna stay with me if I run downstairs and grab another? I can go down there and I can grab the either the crown heads. I think I got a yellow rose down there. I think that's what it is. And I'm actually thinking about what is that? What is that really expensive cigar? Is that the Marifal? Which one should I grab? Y'all let me know if y'all gonna stay around for that. Boy, that sun is coming down, boy. I am cooking. Oh, you say got some punch to it. Okay. But is that a good punch? All right, bet. Appreciate you. Lawrence giving me the same love. He's saying we here, we on deck. Let me go back up to Bob right here. Hold up. Damn. Y'all moving so fast, I can't even keep up. Y'all actually comment. Boom. So I got a box of the Action Cameroon Half Coronas. If anybody wants to try. Hey, man. I ain't gonna argue with you. All right, so boom, we got Mirafel, got the Mirafel. All right, bet. So we got 2 on that. Have I had that? Have I had the Puro Soul? I don't know, man. I gotta look it up and see. We got one for the yellow rose. Got another for the yellow rose. I'll clear the palette a little bit, so we'll see. Moses up in here said he's still chilling with me. He's still rocking with the boy. Okay, saying it's really good. Okay, bet. All right, let me put this decent cigar down and go get one more. Y'all stay with me, man. I'm gonna come right back. Yo, don't phase out. Chat amongst yourselves in the comments, man, so I can have some shit to talk about. I'll be right back. All right, that didn't take me too long, did it? All right, let me see what y'all was saying up in here. You got crickets. That's mad funny. Well, let me get back into what we got. So I went with the mirror fill on this joint. $41. That should better be banging. $41. Fuck out of here. Beautiful though. Damn if it ain't gorgeous. They say making some eggs with fried chili crisp. Sound like a banger. I actually made I had some spam, eggs, and some rice. Threw some kimchi on that, man. I had to go with my Oriental style today for my breakfast. That was only a little bit. I had to make sure I had some food if I'm gonna be up here smoking multiple cigars with y'all. Y'all know how that go. Yeah, I mean that sounds like La Gloria to me, man. That's always kind of like whatever. Let's see. Has anyone tried the new HBC hot cake straight out of the oven? I saw that one, man. I haven't had that cigar. I got to tell you, I don't get hyped for HBC anymore. I mean, there was a time where it was just like, yo, I had to try HBC, but nothing about HBC right now really kind of gets my attention. It really just kind of, I don't know, man. I feel like it never really hits the mark for me. All right, let me get out of the sun, yo. Your boy is cooking. All right. Hopefully y'all can see me. I do apologize. I know I'd be kind of fading into the shadows, especially during the summer. It's that's some good eats right there, bruh. Yeah, it's the hot cake. It's I bought one, but I haven't tried it yet. Okay. And see, this is the stuff that I love, man. Everybody kind of like sharing what's out there, man. Experimenting, seeing what's really hitting the palate. But I remember there was like a period where HBC was all the rage a few years back, and everybody was like talking about the 500 and the hot cake and whatever the Spanish name for that shit was, all that. But it, like none of them ever really got my attention. It was like, yo, this is a brand that I want to stick with. It all kind of felt one note to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that was the experience I was getting out of that. Are these rolled in German? Man, I don't know. Somebody would know. I don't know. What up, gentlemen? What's good? That's a good question. I highly doubt it. But, you know, I would love to see it. Shouts out to Greg, too, man. I rock with that cat. But, and I like the fact that people are hype about that hot tour joint. But I don't think that's anything I'm trying to smoke. I'll leave that for other people to do their reviews and commentary on that joint. That ain't really for me. Kind of curious to see what Matt gonna say about that. The thing about it though, you can really do a funny, like if you really know what you're doing, you can really like, and Matt does. I just saw that he's gonna do a short on it. Like you could really make that really funny and entertaining. That could be really good. This is really well packed. It's really a firm cigar. Kind of a ooh. What was that? You ever get a taste of something, and like your brain is trying to figure out, like that taste, but you can't put your finger on it. That's what I just got from that. Let's see. Sorry, my chat was moving. So only HBC I've really enjoyed that was the 500 Salomon, but I grabbed the new hot cake anyway just to see. Sometimes you got to do that, man. You got to try it just to kind of see how it's gonna work for you. So I went down there to check to see if I had that yellow rose on the crown heads. I got the one with that's the white band, the white foot band, not the yellow joint. What is that? I can't pronounce the name of that shit. I never remember what the hell that is. And I got the orange band. I think is it Tennessee Waltz? Those are the only two. So that's why I went with the Mirafil. Let me see this. What you thought it was money for the Black Friday? Look. I know you shared this to me before, right? But I remember thinking like, those are some peppery jaw cigars. So I'm actually super surprised. So if that 2023 was like different from the previous Black Fridays, then I'm shocked, man. Because the previous ones to me were just pepper bombs, and I didn't really enjoy them like that. My draw is tight as hell on this bitch. It's not a good day for me with cigars, especially for a $41 cigar. So watch your review when you had the Le Carême as your number one. Does that still stand? Still haven't found it in Los Angeles. Yes. it definitely still stands. And honestly, that's really one of my favorite cigars right now. I mean, it's just you're smoking a fudge brownie, bro. You get the salt, you get the chocolate fudge, you get chocolate mousse. It's just it's creamy. You can try different vitolas of that cigar, and I think you would enjoy any one of them. That is definitely still stands. That is not going anywhere. I've been ranting and raving about that cigar nonstop. And this is why I love Matt, yo. Hey, Mike, I think you might have been right about this one, man. I think that if I had that yellow rose, that would have been the way to go. If this cigar doesn't pick up and fast, I'm gonna be disappointed. They're all the same blend. So are you saying that and they are actually the same blend? Because I'm not gonna look it up right now. But they're all the exact same blend, just in different vitolas, or what? Oh man, I rock with y'all, man. Y'all are so funny to me. Hey man, appreciate the follow on IG, man. So I will definitely follow back. Please believe that. Please believe it. Nice. Nice. Dude, that's no exaggeration. That's no exaggeration. That thing is a brownie, bro. It is delicious. All right, let's see. It's getting a little bit better. Let's see. Please get better. Yeah, man, but like I don't feel like the cigars that I had previously are gonna completely kill my palate. But it's just a matter of like this is one is smaller than I thought it was gonna be, and it's really tightly packed. But I still got some taste, and it's actually getting a lot better. I wish the draw was better, but it's getting a lot better, a lot better. Hey man, and part of me, Mike, because I trust your palate, man. So when you give me a warning, I know I should be more prepared. I know I should be more prepared. Saying them, I went full Peter though. It's like, yo, take it easy. Same blend in different Vitolas, made it at different factories. The yellow rose was made at my father's factory. Ah, okay, got you. All right. Well, it's worth a try, man. If I had known that in the first place, I probably would have grabbed one of those then, especially that Tennessee Waltz. I haven't had a Tennessee Waltz in a long time. I'm getting a nice tobacco core out of this one, so that's nice. It's nice and oily. I I know you guys are not going to be able to see that though, but the oils in this thing is really nice. It's definitely premium tobacco in here for sure. I wish the draw was better. Greg is up in the place to be. What up, though? Let me see what he was saying. Oh, okay. You know what? I've had this cigar for quite some time. I like the Maybach look on that joint right there. It's a beautiful presentation. Wonderful looking cigar. It's tasting really balanced right now. It's gotten a lot better. I probably should have waited, but I'm not mad at what I'm getting so far. I just don't like my draw. But I'm not mad at this at all. This has gotten a lot better. And I'm sorry, like I'm kind of phasing out because I do want to kind of, I want to give this a fair shake. Okay. Okay. I see where it's going. What is it? He said it's absolutely made in the Fuente factory, but say can't prove it, but maybe. Did it give anybody else Opus X vibes? Because that's kind of what I'm getting. It kind of reminds me of I know my recall is not as good as what Matt's is, but it's kind of giving me Opus X. Now I kind of see that. I wouldn't put it with Don Carlos though. But you get that cedar, you get a nice tobacco cure core in there. God, I can't get my words out today. What is happening? What is wrong with me? There's a nice sweetness to it. I'm not mad at this. I think I liked what I had from the Partagas a little bit more today, but I'm digging this. But $40 though. Damn, the wind blew that shit. Sorry. Almost burned a hole in the white beater. Sorry about the crickets here, man. I'm trying to get a feel for this cigar. All right. What else is happening in the States, man? I didn't really have anything on the show today, man. I ain't have anything that I wanted to like bring to the table. JB is in the place to be, man. What up, man? You just pop in? Where the hell you come from? Good to see you, homeboy. What you smoke tonight? You always got to cricket. Hold up. I need to go kick the bucket so I can stop the crickets. I don't know if y'all was watching the show. We was doing the infamous pod, yo. And y'all know Matt always got the background sounds. It's either a bird, it's either somebody doing wheelies on a motorcycle, somebody speeding through with a car, it's the crickets in the background. It's always something. There's always something in his background. This motherfucker went over and kicked the bucket, and the motherfucker stopped. I really didn't think that shit was gonna happen, yo. That shit was still funny as fuck to me, yo. Oh, poor, come on, JB, what's going on, man? What's happening? What's happening, bro? Say, yo, don't mind me chilling in here. Peter didn't want to smoke. See, look at this, yo. What's going on? It's like somebody lying. I smell somebody lying. I think somebody lying. I don't see no fire. Let me see who can catch that reference. Let's see. Okay, we got some heat right here. The Smoke's gonna cast the Cuban divine inspiration. Let's see. That's a good look. This is decent, man. I ain't blown away, but it's decent. I get to see I finally had this cigar. Nah, man. Look, yo. All right. So a lot of the new stuff that has come out, I haven't heard Common and Pete Rock. I haven't heard that whole album yet. Childish Gambino just dropped the album. I ain't heard that shit yet. I listened to a little bit of the Eminem album. Actually, I listened to a lot of it, and I was not feeling that Eminem album at all. I did like the first song though. What was it? The Renaissance. I did like that joint. I didn't even know DJ Quick had a new joint out. So I'm out of the loop, man. I'm so out of touch right now. Like the only the little bit of downtime I have had, I haven't had it. Like I haven't sat back and listened to any kind of tunes, any kind of music, anything like that. I've been playing the PlayStation. I got Spider-Man 2 for my birthday. So I've been sitting back playing that joint. And I've just been watching a lot of the TV shows. I've been watching The Boys. I watched that new Star Wars joint, which was absolute garbage. That shit was pure trash. And I watched The Bear. That's the only thing that, so like music-wise, man, I've been kind of going back through the little Kendrick Lamar joint. But how was that Quick? What you think about that Quick? I need your opinion on that. Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. Everybody's saying it. I know. So I need to get up on it. I'm just behind. I ain't really been in a place where I could just sit and chill and just listen to music, man. I ain't really been in that spot. Let me see this. Hold up, man. I'm trying to put yours up. I just did the most weird ass unboxing when I got home from work today. Okay. So is this something you can expound on while we here, or do we just need to wait for this unboxing to come out? When are you gonna release that joint? So is this something that came from one of those weird Chinese companies? Was this somebody just sent something into you? Was this from a brand? Like I'm kind of curious to see what this is about. Yeah, I know LL is dropping soon, man, but like I'm gonna hurt some feelings right now. Okay. I like LL, right? I like LL back from like, you know, my radio, I'm bad, walk with the Panther, like that LL. This current old man iteration of LL, I don't know if I can get with LL like that, man. And I don't think LL write his rhymes. So, and the joint that he just released recently, if you listen close to it, Nas wrote that. He ain't write that. That's all Nas. It sound like Nas. It flow like Nas. The cadence is Nas. Nas wrote that. So I'm really against rappers that have ghostwriters. I can't stand it. Like that's not something I really rock with. Let me catch up here before we go. 3 episodes in the Shogun. It's amazing. See, I told you, homeboy. That is one of the best shows on TV. Hands down. Like amazing is an understatement for that joint. It is psycho that's in there. It is the best. Shogun is great. Feel like the boys fell off a bit. No. The boys did not fall off. Okay, I want to know why you're saying that, Moses. Because the way that they touched on the political climate right now is ooh, that is good. Okay, all right, my bad. This is good. This is good. I don't know if that was like that gave me like a cola profile on that. That was amazing. Hold up, man. I'm trying to catch up because these joints is going so fast and I don't know how to get back to them. Hold up. But I do want to know why you didn't like The Boys this season, because I can't get with that, because that joint was like, I was amazed watching The Boys. Not a bad album. They did a good job with the mixing, new with the old. And I mean, that's Quick. Quick has that talent, man. So I'm not shocked at that at all. Yeah, man. Mike always showing love, man. So I'm not mad at that at all. Said Gambino has a Japanese joint on the album. Yoshinoya. The Megan Thee Stallion has a joint with Mamushi. That Megan Thee Stallion joint is everywhere. Like the kids out here that I've been teaching are singing that joint. They're doing their little TikTok dances to it and all that. My kids is bobbing to it. That's everywhere. Hip hop picking up in Japan? No, hip hop is huge out here, dude. It's huge. It's huge. If you get a chance, there's a rapper by the name of Miyachi. Go check out Miyachi, and then go check out this chick by the name of Awich. Awich is fire, and they love hip hop out here, man. It's huge. It ain't even picking up. It's everywhere. They prefer like the pop music more than anything, but it's huge. Hell yeah, JB. I hear a little hurt in Peter. There was a little bit of hurt in there. I heard that too. I can hear it. Man, ghostwriting is 90% of the game right now. That's why, like, I'm not really connected, dude. That's why I'm not really connected. I can't get with the ghostwriting stuff, man. Nah, it wasn't. Here's the thing about Snoop, because and the doc didn't write all of his lyrics. He did help him out, which kind of hurt my heart when I found out about that. The problem with Snoop is Snoop could write for himself. He didn't know how to write songs. So he needed help to actually structure his songs and to make them so he's not freestyling and just making these long, drawn out songs. He needed to learn how to make an actual song. And so the DLC helped everybody out. But when I found out about Snoop, man, that hurt my feelings, man. That really hurt. But I mean, it's the DLC, yo. Cali boys didn't want to smoke. Oh, okay. All right. All right. I got you. Albert up in here, man. What up, homie? Much love. Y'all boys are stupid, man. All right, so every character on The Boys feels like the same one they were 2 seasons ago, except for A-Train. A-Train's arc was fantastic. I love what A-Train did with his arc. I don't know. I feel like Butcher is changing a lot too. I like how they're doing with Butcher. Mother's Milk's pretty much the same, so I feel you on that. I like how they were using Vic. I like to see what they were doing with Sister Sage. One, that chick looks exactly like my oldest daughter. Like, if y'all want to know what my oldest daughter looked like, Sister Sage looks exactly like my oldest. Like, me and my daughter was going back like, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. If I put my kids up here, it'd be one thing, man. If I could put a side by side of Sister Sage and my daughter, it would blow y'all mind, yo. It's a trip when you see somebody that looks like someone that you created and looks exactly like them. You know how everybody got their doppelgangers and got their twins? This chick looks exactly like my daughter, yo. It's wild. Anyway, I love Sister Sage's character. I love how they, took a spin on Candace Owens' character or persona and put that into Sister Sage, and with being the most intelligent person in the world, but also conniving and has her own self-esteem issues. Brilliant writing. It's absolutely brilliant. I like what they're doing with Victoria. She's dope. And they did a lot with what's my man, Frenchie. Frenchie had a good arc too. Man, some good writing in that joint, yo. Yeah, you can, if you listen to Still Dre, you can hear that straight Hove. Like everything about his flow, his cadence, and that delivery, that's clear. He wrote for Snoop on that too, and he told a story about that on the shop. But I knew that before. Like when I first heard it, I was like, "Yo, that's Hove." I knew that when I first heard it. I could hear it. The same thing when I heard LL. I knew that was Nas. It's like it's certain people that you can hear when it's like that, man. So I mean, it is what it is. He said, LL too old. It's a young man's game. I respect Andre 3000 for not wanting to jump back in for the money. And it's cool, but here's the thing, man. I'm on the fence for that whole topic right there, E. Because I don't necessarily agree. Because, like, if you look at Good Kid, Mad City, right? And when you had MC8 on Mad City, MC8 sounded beautiful on that joint. So these old heads, they still got something to say. They can still rap. It's just a matter of what is your content, you know? I haven't been a fan of Common in years. Common used to be my favorite rapper. But Common sounding good right now, you know? And he sounding like he's hungry again. You know, it's all about, like, with the content and what you're saying. I feel like Eminem is the one that should retire and just be like, yo, I'm too old for this shit. But that don't work for everybody. Yeah, he wrote the whole joint. Big facts. Let me see what this more on the boys. It says Sage is awesome. A-Chain is sweet. Frenchie and the Deep are killing me, bro. Yo, that's the other thing. The Deep, the whole thing they were doing, like with the Deep and using, like, and how they wrote everything about the, you know, how, like, you got to be violent, and then the other side with Huey saying, like, you don't have to be violent, and showing the two opposite ends and how people would try to solve problems with violence. And, you know, they try to, like, you know, deal with their anger instead of being able to not become a monster. But the whole time you got what's the bull? Butcher is becoming a monster, and this whole time, and he was fighting with the duality between good and evil. Like, the way they write on the boys is such a good show, man. And the whole art with what's her name? I don't want to spoil everything, but with Starlight, the way she's kind of trying to find her identity too. Nah, man, I can't say that all the characters are the exact same, man. They really picking it up on the boys, man. That was a good show, and it was a good ending. They left a lot for the final season on that shit too. He said Common is a timeless flow, in my opinion. Like, look, for me, when it comes to Common, like, my favorite era of Common is One Day It'll All Make Sense. That was like one of my favorite albums of all times. It still might be up there, one of my favorites of all times. And that whole album was like, you know, he took my life and he put it into an album, which was, you know, surreal. Everybody got those albums that they connect to and then they fall in love with, you know. But Common got to a point where he got complacent, and you could hear that his heart wasn't in rapping anymore. Tim, what up, man? I see you up in here. He got to the place where you could tell that he wasn't connected with music anymore. He wasn't really feeling it. So anything after Finding Forever just didn't sound good for Common to me. But as a kid, I always thought CL Smooth and Common sounded alike. So for him to work with Pete Rock was just like, this should have happened 20 years ago. I'm glad it's happening now, but it should have happened 20 years ago. Because they needed each other. The way that sound is just like, it's almost like Mecca and the Soul Brother all over again. Like Water for Chocolate is a classic. I love the album. But see, to me, like, I love like Water for Chocolate. But I don't think I've ever talked about it up here. It's like how much I love not just Jay Dilla, but the original crew for Slum Village. And that was basically like a part 2 to a Slum Village album. You feel me? Like, Fantastic is one of the greatest hip hop albums that was ever made, because there was no hip hop that sounded like Slum Village. Nobody rapped like them. Whether you were from Detroit, whether you were from New York, whether you were from the West Coast, nobody sounded like those cats. So for all of y'all that's like always trying to find like music that you can connect to, if you're not really into hip hop like that, I would highly recommend for you guys to go out and get Fantastic Volume 2 by Slum Village. I swear, if you in the rock, if you in the, you know, whatever type of music that you might be into, if you're looking for something that's different, go out there and try Slum Village and get the Fantastic Volume 2 album. It's a masterpiece. Nothing sounds like that. Absolutely nothing sounds like that. So M still rapping about Haley. Ain't she like 30 by now? She gotta be. She gotta be. So what? She pushing it. She pushing it because I was like 20 when he came out. I was like 19, 20 when he first came out, and I'm 44 now. Yeah, so she got to be about 25, 30. I said on Facebook, man, that Eminem album sounds like Eminem trying to rap like Slim Shady telling a Dave Chappelle joke. That's what it sounds like to me. And I get the whole concept album. I get that he's trying to put Slim Shady to bed and he's trying to put that to rest. But the only song that really felt like Eminem to me was Renaissance. The rest of that shit just trying to sound like he's trying to get the magic back and he's trying to get his confidence back. And it just didn't hit for me. Oh, but the kid JID got busy on that album. Jid got busy. That shit was crazy. I did like that track. I can't front. I did like that. So Cali Cal said, I just finished The Boys. It's still fire. It's going to get better. The last season is going to be nuts. The last season is going to be nuts. Oh, and the chick that they not Stormfront. What's the chick's name? What's the chick that's like Alex Jones? That she's doing the Alex Jones character. That she's like Star Spangled Banner or whatever. Like I don't know what her name is. I can't remember, but I like her story arc too and how they connected her with Homelander dealing with all the psychological effects and the mommy daddy issues and the split personality. I think that, man, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And there's a lot to that too. And so I'm gonna take this comment here that you were saying about Common and then add it to the Badu effect. Look, my oldest daughter is named Erica, by the way. So, and it's actually she was named after Erica Badu. So that was a major part of my early 20s. So that tells you a lot right there. But Erica has a major effect on a lot of different artists, and I understand why. So that I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, I know Slum Village still putting out music, man, but it's not the same. It's not Dilla, it's not Baten. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same crew. So like, they got Elzai and another cat, right? It's not the same. I mean, they still make good music. They still make good music, but it's not the same as what it was back in the Fantastic era. Look at this, man. I can't talk about how people dress, yo. I can't say nothing about that, man. I'm a wild boy myself when I put on clothes, so I can't say nothing. He said he had 3 stacks wearing football pants and church pants. Yo, y'all stupid, yo. Yeah, man, because season 5 is gonna be phenomenal, yo. What's the Japanese girl in there with all the powers? I love her character too, man. And the fact that what they did with her and Frenchie is gonna be good. Season 5 is gonna be bananas, yo. Season 5 is gonna be bananas. I see why people like Habits. And one thing about hip hop, man, and about music in general, you got to be able to have a message, right? You got to be able to talk about something. And I think Eminem has had a hard time trying to actually find something to talk about. Because if you listen to Eminem back when he was a freestyle genius, or if you listen to him back when he was dealing with, the Slim Shady mentality, back when he was talking about his daughter and his wife all the time and just kind of like, setting people off, that's when he had something to talk about. It meant something to him. But anything after the Eminem show, you could tell he was just searching for an identity, and he never had an identity anymore. And this is the first time that I feel like he actually had a real concept and had something to talk about. That Alfred Hitchcock album wasn't hitting. That Rap God stuff that he was doing just wasn't it. It was just rapping just for the sake of rapping. Now he finally got something to talk about, and that dealing with his habit actually meant something. But just I feel like Eminem just be rhyming words just to be saying, I did this couplet and I did this cadence and I put all of this stuff together just to make it feel like something. That's the most that I felt like he got out of it. When he actually, finding the topic that he can settle into is the best Eminem. So I'm not going to be mad at that at all. I'm not mad at that. And just to co-sign, I got to put this back up. JID went crazy, bro. Cali Cigars is up in the place to be. Let me see what you're talking about. What up, Key? What up, though? What Cuban are you smoking? Just tasted the Partagas Series E #2 the other day. Have you had it? Yeah, so I had the Partagas Lucentaneous. So big shout out to Sal for sending that out to me, man, because I was really in the mood for a Cuban cigar. And that was the last one that was in the humidor. And it was really good, but I had some construction issues with it. Anything out of that Partagas Series line is fantastic to me, because that's, like I was saying earlier, that's probably the most Cuban-esque of all cigars. They really, like, if you want to taste what a Cuban cigar is supposed to taste like, that Partagas, Series line is bananas. The Series D is my favorite, but that Series E #2 is absolutely really good. The Lucentaneous is very good. It hits the spot. But I just had construction issues. But, that's kind of the same old song when you're dealing with Cubans. So that's what that was. So right now, I'm smoking the Mirafell. And it's very much so giving me Opus X vibes. And it's a really good cigar. I'm not mad at it at all. I wish my draw was a little bit better, but other than that, it's really good. Let me see what else we got. If you like JID, you definitely like Kenny Mason. You got to send me something on that, man, because I think I've heard his name pop up recently, but I want to hear what he's talking about. If he ain't sound anything like JID, then I need to hear that. Reason is dope too. What are my thoughts on Benny the Butcher? I'm gonna make y'all mad. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm gonna make you mad right now. I will listen to Conway over Benny the Butcher. I don't like Benny. Benny can rap. I just don't like Benny. He's one of those people, like, I don't believe anything he says. Benny always come off to me like he's trying to be your rapper's favorite rapper. Like, he's dope. He can write. He got a good voice. He got a consistent flow. He switch it up from time to time. But I just never feel like he missing confidence to me. And I just never feel like I just don't believe him. And that's a me thing. It's just me, like, I can't get with him. Like, I know Benny can rap. I know he can rap. But I'd rather listen to Conway. Conway's confidence is really what draw me in. And even with, what's the other boy, man, that's with Griselda? The fashion dude, man. I can't think of his name. He kind of remind me of Ghostface a little bit. I'll listen to him a bit more, because I just like his energy. He ain't talking about nothing. Like he don't have no content, but he got style. Benny he don't do it for me, man. That's just me though. And I know I'm gonna make people mad with that. It's how you with the Merrifield go. It's good, man. It's good. It does remind me of an Opus, man. I would smoke this again, but I just feel like with y'all making that Fuente comparison, there's so many other Fuentes that I could get, that would just be just as good, if not better than this. I love the tobacco core on this. I love the oiliness to it. It has a nice, nutty, sweet profile. It's really good. I don't know. I just wonder if just because my draw is off, it's such a tightly packed cigar that I don't know, man. It's just not. West Side Gun. I couldn't think of his name to save my life. Yeah, Conway's underrated. He's been putting out some bangers. Here's the thing with like that real like boom bap type hip hop, man. It's just like when you just got real street level hip hop. I don't know if it's working with the time. Like these young cats ain't really rocking with like real lyricists like that. The one thing that I feel like, JID and I feel like Kendrick can kind of get a pass with these younger cats right now. It's because they're so energetic. They always come up with creative flows. They pick really good beats. So these kids are not really listening to the content. The beauty of it is that us old heads can listen to JID, we can listen to Kendrick, and we can, bring out different metaphors, and we can, catch all the different cadences and all that kind of stuff. And it fuels us because that's the era that we come from. The Rakim, the Nas, the Coogee raps, the Commons, the Black Thoughts. Like we can get with that. And that's the same reason why we can appreciate a Griselda, because they still rap like that. But they are just straightforward, just straight boom bap beats, similes, metaphors, a lot of gun talk. I feel like that era of hip hop is passe. So one thing that I'm thinking, like, hip hop been around for 50 years now. I'm 44. Like I literally grew up with it. You know what I'm saying? I literally like saw the dawn of it. I saw the pioneers. I saw the evolution of it. And I saw how hip hop has really like changed the landscape of music. Everybody's talking about how, like, here in Japan, like, hip hop is like, if you go to Tokyo, you go to Osaka, like, you can see the influence of hip hop, like, literally worldwide. But it's time now for this new generation, whatever these young cats, to create a new sound. We went from gospel to blues to jazz to funk to hip hop. We need something new. And I think that's really what's happening right now. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, so I'm kind of glad this topic has come up. But Freddie, I see y'all mentioning Freddie Gibbs and Boldy James, kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same thing. Like, we at a place right now where I feel like music has become stagnant. And I feel like I'm happy to see like Afrobeat, kind of, popping up out there. And I'm hyped to see like a lot of the change in sounds. But if you think about it, we haven't had anything to revolutionize music in decades. We haven't had anything that had the effect of like grunge or had the effect of what hip hop had on music. Like, nothing has really taken music and made a new sound. Nobody, it's like, somebody needs to make something new. And I don't know if it's going to happen in my lifetime, but we get into a place where, like, I don't know if it's because everything is so globalized that everybody's kind of like feeding off of the same sounds and all the cultures are connected. Like, hip hop is so worldwide that it's here in Japan, in China. You hear all the same songs on like TikTok, and like everything is kind of melding together. That's what made Drake so popular, because Drake was able to get all of these different writers and able to steal and borrow from everybody's music, and it all became the same thing. Just about every genre of music that you listen to right now is fused with some form of hip hop, right? So we at a place right now, yeah, we old, bruh. So, like, when you think about it, nothing is evolving. At some point in time, we got to get something that's going to be. Yeah, I've heard of La Russell. I haven't dug into it or anything like that, but I've heard of them. So, I mean, it might be something I might have to dig into. But at some point, man, music is gonna have to change. Somebody's gonna have to be sitting in their room, messing around with a computer, messing around with AI, or doing something to actually make something that's new that we've never heard before. I mean, if you just think about what hip hop was, right? You had these kids from the hood that had their influence coming from, Jamaica, reggae music, and then taking their parents' old soul music and funk music, and actually being outside and being in the streets, b-boying, doing graffiti, messing around with turntables, and it all turned into a completely new sound. People were outside, people in New York, people in LA, people in, down south. But I'm looking at my own kids. Don't nobody go outside anymore. Like, so I don't know what they're going to be able to do to create an energy that has something like hip hop. If you think about punk music came from cats. It was just like, yo, they were stressing out. They were going against the government. They were going against society. And they was like, yo, we need to make a change. We need to do something that's different. and it created a new sound, a new energy. All like every type of music that came from something, they, you know, there was an angst. I don't feel like these kids got an angst. I don't feel like there's not anything right now that's making people feel like, yo, we got something that we need to be a counterculture. We need to be something that is aggressive, and, you know, we need to be something that is, or something that you know, that speaks to whatever their generation is going through. I don't think anybody has that message right now. And that's what art and music is. You got to be able to have some way to create a message, and you got to be able to create a voice, and nobody's doing that. I love Crit too. Crit was dope, man. But at the same time, when you heard Crit, you heard Tip, or you heard UGK, and so I don't think he was able to find his own voice fast enough that he could kind of set himself apart from anybody that was out there, because you can hear 8Ball and MJG, you can hear T.I., you know, you can hear UGK, and it all sounded familiar. You could hear Outkast, and you love all of the influences that he had. You love his skill set, you love his talent, but he didn't do anything to revolutionize what he was doing, and to set his own identity until it was too late. And that's the thing. Like, you got to have something to set yourself apart from everything. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Like, all of this stuff, like everything that they're listening to right now is either coming from like 2K or it's coming from TikTok. And I was listening to this short earlier that was Dua Lipa, and literally every one of Dua Lipa's songs was a song that came from somebody else. Like, she either took their cadence, or she took their rhythm, she took you know, an interpolation from another song. There's no identity in music right now, and that's the reason why I'm having a hard time connecting with anybody, with anything that's going on. I feel like the last album that really like blew my mind, that made me feel like, okay, this is something different, was Tyler the Creator's Igor. And that was the last time an album just made me feel like, okay, this is new. This don't sound like, because even with Childish Gambino, I was talking to my oldest daughter today, and I was saying like, yo, I like Gambino, and this is the first time that I've heard him sound like himself. That he didn't sound like, you know, Parliament Funkadelic, or he wasn't sounding like another rapper, or, you know, this is the first time that he was sounding like Donald Glover. And that's what I've been kind of waiting for. So I'm hoping that he's going to evolve and improve into something else. I don't know. I just don't feel like anybody's inspired right now. These kids got it too good now. The world is at their fingertips, and that's kind of like what I'm saying, and everything. Like, you know, they don't have any way to feel like you don't have your own cliques. You're never gonna get a Bone Thugs and Harmony. You're never gonna get an Outkast. You're not gonna get a Tyler the Creator, or Future Gang. You're not gonna get any, because everything has to be borrowed from somewhere else. They don't have their own identity. Laugh my ass off. You're not lying. The taste started with Guitar Hero. I mean, if you think about it, like right now, like with my youngest daughter, I've been trying my best to like she listened to a little bit of everything. So now, like, I've been trying to, like, I introduced her to Good Kid, Mad City the other day, and this chick lost her mind. Like she had never heard anything like it. So now, like, when I'm listening to my daughter, like, you know, spit Kendrick Lamar lyrics, it's like wow to me, you know. But it's I'm trying to like to spark her to be like, okay, all the stuff that you're hearing right now, I need you to take all these different sounds from Tim's, from Rihanna to pop, and I need you to start like creating. I need you to go in your room and like come up with your own ideas, and, like, you know, kind of find your own voice. That's what I want for. I love Portishead, man. I love Portishead. I love Portishead and Radiohead. Portishead, like, I've been trying to find something that was new, that was gonna have what Portishead had in it, like that dark 9-inch nails industrial sound to it, that brooding, like kind of moody music. I love that shit, man. And I haven't played Portishead in a while, but that was like I was really heavy on that, man. I love the fact that they had their own sound and nobody really sounded like that. That kid, XXX Tentacion. I feel like XXX Tentacion was gonna be the kid. He was supposed him. I felt like him and Nipsey was gonna change music. I think I spoke about this with you guys before when we was talking music. I felt like they were gonna change music because they were so diverse in what they listened to and with the messages that they were putting in there, and they took them both out. So now what? Now what we're gonna do? Gambino is trying to create for sure. I gotta listen to the new album. He's trying, man. He's trying. Richie Rich, Dangerous Dame, Seagram out of Oakland. Yeah, shouts out to Oakland rap, man. I really like Richie Rich too. Shouts out to Oakland. Got busy, man. Oakland got some greats. Now I can draw. Funny how that works. I don't think Oakland hip hop really get enough love in general. Just like the Bay Area sound is probably like my favorite right now. Like if I just go back to like old music, 40, you know, I really don't like Keep the Sneak, but my wife is from that area. But she put me on to that Thiz movement. She put me on to all of that kind of stuff. I really like how they get down. Too Short. Like I love the Bay Area, man. And like that used to be my favorite city before like San Francisco turned into a hellhole. Yeah, Ego was special. It was Ego was special, man. And don't get me wrong, I like Call Me When You Get Home, but I kind of want him to go back and then just like, okay, I got to do something new. I showed y'all I can still rap, but I need to go back into something different. Yeah, I couldn't get into Mr. Morale, man. Like sonically, that album didn't do it for me. And after this whole thing with Drake and Kendrick, I wanted to go back into Mr. Morale, and I tried it the other day, and I'm just like, I don't think I'm in the right headspace to get into Mr. Morale. And I'm weird when it comes to Kendrick because Good Kid, Mad City is one of the greatest albums I've ever heard. Just as far as like putting together a concept album and just, you know, being in a creative space. I didn't like To Pimp a Butterfly. I know people love To Pimp a Butterfly, but to me, To Pimp a Butterfly felt forced. And I know he was trying to be inspired by the funk era, and I know he had a social message with it. And I know he was like, you know, taking a lot from James Brown, but it didn't feel natural to me. Damn, it's just pure rapping, and it's just like it's brilliant hip hop. And then Mr. Morale came out, and I was like, I know what he's trying to say, and I know it's a personal album, and maybe like some years down the line I will get into it. Like, let's say for instance, Marvin Gaye is one of my favorite artists, right? And everybody, if you talk Marvin Gaye, it's gonna be let's get it on. What's going on? What's going on? It's like a magnum opus of an album. But when he put out Here My Dear, after he did what's the joint with the Sugar Shack on the joint? I Want You. After he did that joint, that wasn't his album. That was a Leon Ware album. So he went back and he did Here My Dear. People hated Here My Dear. Hated it. And because they wanted him to keep making the music that he was making before. To me, I think Mr. Morale is going to be Kendrick Lamar's Here My Dear. That over time, people are going to go back and listen to that album, and then they're going to be able to say like, oh, okay, this is something special. Like he was really trying to, you know, talk about something that was more personal to him, that meant something to him, and somebody's going to strike a chord with it, and that album is going to grow into something special. But listening to it, I just couldn't get into it sonically. Yeah, it happens, man. It happens. But hey, it's smoking now, man. It is what it is. It says smoking trees. Matt joke on me all the time, man, because I be having bad luck with with cigars, man. Like, all right, so that y'all was around when Sanj was sending out uh those Casa I'm trying not to say Casa Cuba, trying to say Casa Cuevas, Casa Magnas. And he was trying to send out those Casa Magnas to us from 2008, 2009. Every single one of those cigars that I got was plugged. Every single one of them. I had 5. I smoked 3. The last 2 I'm giving to John, just because like I kept trying and I was getting the worst of it. And I was just like, yo, man, it is what it is. Like, I'm just not going to be able to have the experience with those cigars just because my luck is just so bad. I just said, forget it. After smoking 3 like that, I was done. So quick story about Victory Lap, man. Connecting it with Oakland, right? My father-in-law is a Filipino cat from the Bay Area. I love my pops, man. That's my guy. So he knows I'm a Warriors fan. So he got tickets. This is back when KD was playing with the Warriors. It was the last week that they was playing in the Oracle Arena. So my pops took me out to Oracle Arena, and we went out and watched the game. So we sitting up in the upper deck, and I got to see Steph play, got to see Clay play, got to see KD for the first time. And this is the first time I had ever been to a professional sports game, like football, basketball, baseball. It's the first time I've been in anything that was professional. Me and my pops out there chilling, having a good time, and I go to check my phone, and I get the message that Nipsey Hussle had been shot. And I hadn't had a chance to listen to Victory Lap yet. I was just getting into Nipsey. I had went back through all his, marathon mixtapes, and I was like, yo, this dude is special. And because at first I wouldn't listen to Nipsey because I thought he was a Snoop knockoff. And I was like, man, who is this dude looking and sounding like Snoop, man? I was like, I can't rock with this dude. And that was the way I felt about E40 at first, too. I thought he was a Biggie knockoff. And I was like, man, I can't listen to this cat. And somebody was like, nah, man, you got to play Nipsey. Nipsey's special. So I went back and I went through the marathons. And I was like, yo, I slept. I was wrong. This dude is special. So I had never listened to Victory Lap. I didn't listen to Victory Lap until 2020. After he died, man, I couldn't play it. Like it took me over a year to actually go back and sit with that album. And that's a hip hop masterpiece. If you want to talk about just like somebody just actually, spitting facts and giving like depth to music and just like giving game, Nipsey was special. So having him taken out of hip hop really broke my heart, man. And it really kind of took me out of music a little bit, man. It really made me sad, like genuinely made me sad. But that album is an absolute masterpiece. All right, here's another thing with Lil Brother. If y'all don't know, I grew up in North Carolina and Virginia. So that's where I spent the first half of my life, my first 20 years of my life, going back and forth between Hampton Roads and Tarboro, North Carolina. So at that time, I was still an MC. I was still in the hip hop. And whenever I mentioned that I'm from North Carolina, the first thing that people were going to say to me, oh, you from North Carolina? Take your shirt off, twist around your head. I'm like, yo, that's not us. That's not what we sound like in North Carolina. Like, we got real MCs. We got real rappers. Like, we can rap. Like, for real. That's like, it's people out here, because the people that I was hanging around with was like MCs. There was a crew that I grew up listening to called Creme de la Creme. There were a lot of like the dudes that I admired from high school. There were some dudes that were like just out there in the streets, and they really made good music, but they never got on. And they got a story that they did a show, and they had this beat that they did, and they played a beat. They were doing like a talent show or whatever, and Farside was there. So one of the dudes, me and my boy, was listening to Farside one day, and we were listening to what was it? My dear, you do not know me, but I know you very well. And he came in, he heard the song, and he smacked the TV and he turned it off. He's like, yo, don't ever listen to that bullshit. They stole that song from us. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's the story. That being said, when Little Brother finally came out, I was online. I used to go on a site called OK Player. I used to listen to a lot of the Roots, D'Angelo, Common, Mos Def. I was a backpacker, so that was my crew. So I knew Fonte when he was on OK Player before he became Fonte that everybody knows. Like I've known Fonte for a long time, and I watched Little Brother grow from just dudes just being on a message board, and I watched Foreign Exchange grow from being dudes that's just on a message board, just passing music, Ninth Wonder, all that. I watched them dudes formulate that album. And when I heard The Listening for the first time, man, my mind was blown. Like that, The Listening is just such a great album. And it's just pure North Carolina hip hop. And I was just so happy that people finally got to see that North Carolina is more Fonte, J. Cole. Like that's how we rap. So it finally got that whole Petey Pablo mind out of there. That's not what we grew up on, man. That's not how we rap. So that's my whole thing with that. All right. So will the USA Olympic basketball team lose a game this summer? I don't think so. Here's why. I don't think this USA team is nearly as good as the Dream Team. I don't think they're nearly as cohesive as the Dream Team. However, the amount of firepower that this team has right now with the way the team is constructed, with Steph, with LeBron playing the way LeBron is playing, with Tatum, Anthony Edwards, that firepower just on the offensive side alone is scary. But having Drew Holiday on that team, having Derek White on the team, Bam Adebayo, and Anthony Davis is going to solidify that these dudes are going undefeated. I honestly think the biggest trouble that they're going to have is not going to be from Germany. It's not going to be with Serbia. It's going to be with that French team because they got size and defense. But that team is so deep, especially once KD come back, I don't know how you're going to be able to stop that team offensively and defensively. And that's going to be the thing that's going to, teams are going to get terrified. Because when you go into the paint, and if Anthony Davis doesn't get hurt, it's scary hours. It's absolute scary hours. The way Bam Adebayo is playing, stretching the floor, Bam Adebayo is shooting. He got that floater game going. And then if Steph get hot like he got hot the other night, what you going to do? Because if you try to stop them, then the only thing you got to do is give Anthony Edwards and LeBron the ball, and they're just going to be able to run it inside. You're not going to be able to stop them. The only thing that scares me about this USA team is that I feel like they don't have the heart that the Dream Team had. And they like if they ever get to a point where they get to like if they get out of sorts and if they don't play with chemistry, then they can throw a game away. And I think that may happen, but they're going to go. I think they're going undefeated. But I can see a scenario where they lose sight of the game and get dejected and lose focus. That's the only flaw that I see in this current USA team. I hope that makes sense. So Lawrence said he don't see them losing. He said they looking good. But yeah, but that's what I was talking about defensively though. Drew Holiday, Derek White, Bam Adebayo, and AD. And then like if you just kind of look at just the way the rest of the team kind of, Tyrese Halliburton is a good defender. Tatum can defend. A lot of people hate on Steph. I think he's the weakest link as far as defense, but the way he know how to play lanes and know how to, be in position, it's a strong team, man. It's a strong team. And I hate the way they did Jaylen Brown. I hate the way they did that to him, but I think it was the right move to put Derek White on that team. and I know it's some politics behind that. And you can, if you listen to the way Grant Hill was talking about it, it's definitely politics behind it. And losing Kawhi was kind of crazy, but I don't think Kawhi is healthy. He would have been great on defense, but Kawhi can't move. His knees are shot. And I still think with everybody there, AD is great on help defense. Not AD, but KD is great on help defense. I still think all the way around it's a solid team, man. It's going to be hard to top that. But it's going to be a goal. Because, look, y'all got to think about it. Like, once teams run up on these cats and they see who they got to go against, one, they're going to be starstruck. Two, if they ever get on a heater, these teams are going to be terrified of them. They're going to be terrified. This, like, yo, that second unit is crazy. That second unit is scary. What other team got a second unit that's like that? Nobody got anything that can rock with that. So that's my opinion on that. All right. My Opus fall is out. So I think I'm gonna call it on these cigars. But if y'all got anything else to bring to the table, man, let me know what y'all got, man. Y'all got anything else y'all want to bring up? We did music, did a little bit of USA basketball. We did some good TV. We did a little bit of, we talked cigars. I think it was a good live. It was a good smoke your best. But I'll stay for another minute if y'all got something else y'all want to bring to the table. What we got? So it looked like the redeemed team without Kobe. Yeah, in a way it is, man. In a way it is. And see the thing, if you go back and you watch that documentary, or if you remember what that team was like beforehand, they had all the talent in the world. I don't know if it was quite as deep, but it was close, right? But when you're playing in a new format, and you're going up against, a lot of, foreign players that have improved, and you got a lot of NBA players that are playing overseas right now and playing for their country, you gotta have that heart to be able to get through and make it like a championship run. You gotta have that desire to say, yo, we not losing, and you gotta live up to the stature of what that dream team was. They needed somebody that was a dog, and they needed Kobe. Kobe, that Mamba mentality, that desire to not take any kind of shorts and to not lose. I think the closest thing that they have to that right now is Anthony Edwards, which is ironic that it's the young bull, and Steph. Steph got this mentality that he don't like to lose. When he turned that monster on and he just started hitting shots from anywhere, I think that leadership is going to be there with those two, but it's not the Kobe level. It's not Jordan and Magic and Barkley. They don't have that same kind of dog mentality. But if they have the mindset that they're going to go out there and have fun, and everybody going to play for each other and not trying to be a hero, then you can't beat this team. And that's the thing about it. The skill set, and it's kind of like a mirror to what this generation is in basketball players. He said he out, man. Shouts out to you. I know you on the East Coast time, but I think they in that mindset that they got to go out there and they're like, yo, we want to be the best and show everybody that we the best out here. If they can go out there and play like that, you're not gonna stop this team, man, because everybody gonna be scared. The Dream Team era versus the world was much different from the talent standpoint. The Canada team would be their best option. That Canada team, if you're talking about this current Canada team, they ain't ready. It's a good team. I love Shea. Shea can hoop, and they got all the talent in the world, but they're not built for that. Serbia won't built for that. I honestly, Germany, they some dogs. They play like dogs, but really the most complete team right now is France. So we're gonna see, and I honestly think they can beat them too, and it's mainly because of Bam and AD. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm actually kind of hyped, man. I'm actually excited to see them hooping right now. I'm actually excited to see the way it's gonna play out on a grand scale. I'm excited to see the way the game is going to go. I want to see what these next two exhibition games are going to look like. I think the next game they still playing without KD, but honestly, if you look at it with KD, you got Braun slashing, you got Halliburton slashing, you got Tatum slashing, and then you got Steph on the perimeter, and you got KD with the mid range. You got Anthony Edwards on the perimeter and slashing. They cover just about everything. You feel me? Like, they can change their game in so many different ways. They can play inside out ball, they can play mid-range ball, they can play deep, deep three level ball, they can play 4-level ball. Like, it's like I don't know how like a lot of these teams are gonna be able to stop that, yo. For real. I think that's it, man. All right, Joe. I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna go sit in the AC for a minute, make myself some food, get a little workout in after I cool down a little bit. I think that's it for the show, man. Hey, look, as always, I appreciate y'all for coming in here, kicking it with me on the lives, man, and smoking good cigars with me, talking about life stuff, and really supporting the channel. I'm highly grateful to everybody here. Y'all go show some love to the Cigar Collective, show some love to Unbanded, show some love to Mike with Cigar Carpenter. Go subscribe to his channel. Go watch his showdown shootouts. It's dope content. Subscribe to the infamous show, so y'all know next week we're gonna be back with a show. And most importantly, man, I want y'all to give some love to the homie at Pick Jimmy DJ. Subscribe to his channel. Go support his channel, and go support my man at the Cigar Alchemist, John. He has a GoFundMe that's out there. Please, if you can, get a man some love just to help the man stay on his feet. Go subscribe to his channel. Go subscribe to his Patreon, and just help this community grow, man. Those are friends. Those are people who are really important to what we're doing with the cigar. This whole cigar community. So I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all the best. Hey, man, I appreciate the love. Thank you, man. And I'll be around. I got a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes right now. I'm sorry I haven't been able to put out any kind of content. I really haven't had the time just to really stop and make stuff for my channel. So these lives are the best thing that I got to give to y'all in the cigar community and in the YouTube space. I've been going for 3 hours, man, and y'all always support me, man. And it's nothing but love, man. I got nothing but appreciation for y'all. I'll be back to do another live. I may come back really soon. I might do one midweek. I might try to do one more tonight. Follow me on Instagram. If y'all not following me there, I'm going to do something there when I got time to just sit down and smoke a cigar. That's going to be how it is. So it's EKB. Y'all keep smoking your best cigars, and I'll catch y'all on the next go round. Do the same, man. PC, Moses, peace. JB, peace. Catch y'all next time.